I'm Shane.
I'm Bo.
We are your Kentucky Fried Critics.
Welcome back.
Here we are again, guys, ready to entertain you. Still
Hi.
cold, still freezing.
It's fucking frozen and I hate it. But I like my job. I'm happy to be here.
So yeah, we're gonna have a good one. Again, I'm still getting used to this. It's been months now, and it still feels weird to not be like, oh, they don't know.
Yeah.
But they do.
It's
You guys
been,
know.
It's been like 6 months now, hasn't it? It's been a while since we stopped the game.
Has it?
game.
No, because it was at the 1 year.
Yeah, that's right.
So no, you're right. It has
That's-
been 6. God damn.
God
Oof.
damn it. Fuck.
Stop it, Bo. You're usually mad at me for being the one to be like, it's been a long time and makes you feel
I
old.
hurt
Yeah,
myself. Okay.
The fact that 6 months doesn't actually
as
feel
soon
like
as I said it, I felt the dagger in my heart.
you were like 6 months and you thought it was over exaggerating, and then you're like, oh,
because I'm usually wrong.
ouch.
I was like, no, hey, fuck, I'm right.
Yeah, so I guess it is my fault for not being more used to you just get used to doing something.
Yeah.
Right? Because think about it, a year, 4 to 5 episodes a month for a year. That's a lot.
52 episodes.
Although
56?
I guess now that we're at 6, it does mean we're halfway towards the second.
we should have adjusted by now, I guess.
Well, it's my fault. It's totally me. It's
with the
it's not my problem.
times, Shane.
I
Gotta
do.
pick
I need
up.
to. So again, we're just doing The Graduate.
With some good old Country Boy Brewing Company's Cougar Bait.
If you don't understand why that's the perfect beer for this, then you have probably not seen the movie,
You've been under a rock. You've not watched TV.
right? Or you don't
This shit
understand,
gets parodied all the time.
or you don't understand the phrase.
yeah, you don't get what a cougar is.
Right, like but you're missing a pop culture connection somewhere
That you need.
right.
This is film school.
Well, yeah,
shit.
well,
Like this
that
is in the
and,
handbook.
That and then just knowing that cougar bait means that you're like
yeah.
all of this.
To all
means
you
should
youngins
know.
out there, it's a MILF,
Yes,
right?
it's a
But
mil-
generally the MILF that
cougar-
hunts you down.
right, because that's why you're the bait.
Yeah.
You're the one that the cougars want. You're the one that all the cougars
Look
are
out!
after.
Look out for older women dressed in leopard print, buddy.
Oh, geez, right? If this movie teaches you nothing, it teaches you that. But so yeah, again, before we get real into it, like Bo already said, this is from Country Boy Brewing. It is an American blonde ale. So again, the look of it, for anybody who is on Patreon, they already know.
Yeah, they already know because they've
they
seen
see
me
it
drinking
again right now. It looks, if someone poured this and gave it to you, I can understand how you'd be like, man, you just give me some Budweiser,
or a Miller or something.
But again, since it is an ale, it does not have. It's not that taste. It's not a pilsner. It's not that flavor profile.
I just thought of, you know what it actually reminds me of? You remember the Guinness Blonde?
Yes, it's the same thing. Blonde ale. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that, Bo. You're reading my mind.
Because I'm psychic. Sorry, ignore that.
But yeah, so this is it, again. It's not the same. But I understand how again you could easily be fooled. Someone could pour it for you, and you could be like, swill in a fucking can. What are you giving?
What are you giving this? It's a Paps.
Yeah, the flavor is better, right? This
Oh,
is
yeah.
good. It's got a good.
Even
flavor.
smells better. Doesn't have that Budweiser-y smell.
So and again,
I shit on Budweiser too much. probably.
Country Boy Brewing it's a Kentucky one, right? I do believe.
I believe so. I'm pretty sure it's done in-
Georgetown,
Yeah,
Kentucky.
my
So
dad
again-
works in Georgetown.
So yeah, I was going to say, not that far away, not super close, but not that far away. So
That's where
yeah,
you go to get good Toyotas.
you got to support our local people, super local. Something again, most of ours are actually is local.
Yeah,
super
within the
local.
tri-state area, it's
Well,
like
and we
Ohio,
actually-
Indiana, Kentucky.
Despite the fact that we go on our beer trips, we tend to actually still get Kentucky-based ones, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like
That store's so nice, though. It's got all
Yeah.
those really good beers.
it does. So I mean, well, I hope they do a little bit better for us. I feel like Christmas was a little bit. We still ended up having to stop it. We had to pull a liquor barn out.
Yeah, once.
because we were like, damn,
or
guys.
twice, actually. I
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
wasn't it?
Because that place had some, but it was just like I think it was lots of them that we'd already used. It
Yeah.
was like, man, you guys need a slightly bigger. Like those are great, but we know they're
Yeah,
great.
we've already
we
done
did
those.
that. Yeah, we've been there. We've done that.
Can we get a little rotation?
Yeah. But so you guys already know that this is a classic movie.
Yeah, like I said, this is your film student
Oh,
movie.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
this is in the handbook up there with like Citizen Kane and all those other.
You should have
big
seen
ones.
this. For all the people, again, you know us guys. We don't like to cover the things that you should know.
Yeah,
Right? Like,
well,
so
I typically watch bad, obscure fucking movies.
yes, well, and again, that's why like we always tell you guys like nowadays we like to go over the director or the writer, because normally we're doing movies where it's like, like we all know the directors for the famous movies and we all know
Yeah.
their names, so it's not one of those things we feel
But the
like
guy
to
who
hash to
did
you.
Thanksgiving 2,
or even
you
just
might
like
not know, so
or
we
the
shout 'em
small
out.
the random movies that we've done where it's like, again, it's a popular movie people have seen, but it's not the kind of thing where you're like, who direct, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like popular doesn't always mean like you care about the director. So again,
It's more who starred in it.
yeah,
really.
and so like sometimes it's just like nobody really knows.
Tell me
'cause
the
you wouldn't think about it,
cinematographer
right?
of any movie.
So-
I fucking dare you.
So like
Not
some
film student people, like
that-
regular people.
That's why sometimes we run into the things of like, it's the same director of like Xenon, the third one, because you're not gonna,
Yes.
that guy directs a major movie. It's not the kind of thing that he probably directed tons of movies.
Yeah.
That guy, we want to be like, obviously you didn't watch this movie and say, who was this director? But we should all shout that guy out because he
Yeah, 'cause
was a
he
big
did a
part of
great
our
fucking
childhood.
job,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, again, big part of our childhood. When we, like, just because they're not making these things that everybody talks about all the time doesn't mean we don't have strong connections to them. But for something,
you don't have to be Scorsese to make an impact.
yes. Now, on that note, for this one, this is Mike Nichols. He is a famous director. He has directed lots of things. Do you know any of the other things he's done?
Nope.
Okay.
I will be dead honest. I don't.
Okay. I'm going to be dead honest. The first one I'm going to throw at you, I know you have seen, and you've seen a lot. Biloxi Blues. I knew that was going to be your reaction.
I
knew.
love that movie.
That's why I asked if you knew. Yes, that's why I asked if you knew this. I was like, Bo is going to shit himself if he doesn't know.
I love
So,
that fucking movie.
this
We
is-
didn't do that movie.
Yeah. So this is the point, though, that proves sometimes when it's a big movie like this, we do still need to talk about it because maybe you don't know the things they've done.
I like that. See, yay.
So
I like that I learned something.
Let me hit a couple of others that he's done then, because if you didn't know that one, the other ones might be a shock. So he did The Birdcage, Robin Williams.
Oh yeah, with
Yes.
what's it, Nathan Lane.
Yes, good
Yeah,
one. It's a good
I
one.
love that one.
So that's him. That is technically just a redo of a French movie.
Yeah,
La Cages au Feuillard, however you say bird, and
good enough, man.
Yeah.
Our French fans will come after you. In
Yeah,
the comments.
100%. Or
That's
French
not how you
Canadians.
say
although
that.
maybe they-
How dare you diss our classic movie? I fuck you. Go make another movie with a guy
but he-
smoking a cigarette.
Mike Nichols also did Angels in America, which is a very famous LGBTQ
Don't know that
stage
one.
play. It's a
it's
stage
play. Okay.
Well, he did the made-for-TV adaptation though. So I mean, like,
Wow.
very different because again, the stage play doesn't like, dude. You should see it. It's still a great story. It kind of like it takes actual stories and kind of like like
Turns up to 11.
to make a point.
Yeah.
But it's really good. It definitely tells a really good story. And again, like if you like some of the visuals from these other movies that I just mentioned that he's done, and this one,
Yeah.
then you should give it a shot. He definitely knows how to frame a shot and
Fuck
make
yeah,
some
he
good
does.
stuff. On that note, let's get to our stars. Our stars, though, I definitely feel are not Mike Nichols. Like we're gonna name some of these, and we don't need to talk about them. You
No,
know who we're
you know
talking
who they
about. So Dustin Hoffman. We don't. I mean, we can mention the things we like him. I love Dustin Hoffman. He's in a lot of great
He's a-
things. But do we need to?
Do we need to?
You guys know who he is. We're wasting time to talk about the
He
things he's
still
been in.
does stuff.
A lot.
Yeah,
of
he's
stuff.
probably working on a movie right now.
I know if you listen to us regularly, you might be like, well, this is unfair. You guys had a lot to say about Christopher Lloyd, or you got a lot, and we did. And again, I'm not downplaying Dustin Hoffman, but again, Dustin Hoffman has been.
He's been around for so long. He's been in so much stuff. He's won so many awards.
Well, and most of his things are like they're super famous,
Yeah.
and you always know it's him, right? Like Christopher Lloyd's a good one because sometimes he plays characters where you're like, oh, that was Christopher Lloyd.
The Adams Family.
Well,
Uncle
Adam's
Fester.
Family, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, because he's the bad guy.
Oh yeah,
in
he's
Who
the bad
Framed-
guy in
yeah,
that.
yeah. And so
Forgot
again, like
about that one.
there's some times where you're like, oh yeah, fuck, that's Christopher Lloyd. There's a reason that sometimes you might want to talk about someone.
My
like that.
biggest problem with Dustin Hoffman is I get him and Dennis Hopper confused because it's
You said it earlier. No, you said it earlier. You said
Was it in the
You said
episode?
Dennis Hoffman. No. It was before we started. You said Dennis Hoffman, and I was just like, he's
I do it all the
wire
time.
crossing I knew exactly when you said it what just happened too. I was like, he's wire crossing these two people
every goddamn time.
But yeah, I mean, Dustin Hoffman's great. I'm walking here.
That's what I was just thinking. Like, I'm walking here.
And again, you know,
completely accident. Like he actually almost got ran over by that cab.
Yeah. Again, and I love Dustin Hoffman. He's great for improv, right? Like, and so that's one of those things that I'll say about him. There are a couple scenes when we get to, I'll mention he totally
pulled it out of his
out.
ass.
He did it. One thing again,
and comedic timing.
Yes,
he has great comedic timing.
So the thing, instead of talking about the things he's done, I'll say some behind the scenes stuff that I found out that you thought was great about it. So again, Dustin Hoffman was originally not going to be the main guy. He was not going to be Ben.
I have a hard time believing that.
It was going to be Robert Redford.
That doesn't work.
Again, if you know the book, though, it's all just the description of the character. But again, that's it. That's it. The description of the character in the book would have been looking like Robert Redford.
60s Robert Redford.
Yeah, so suave, debonair.
Yeah, got the blonde hair and the blue
Mike
eyes.
Nichols was like, I don't buy this guy as a guy who's nervous when a person like Mrs. Robinson comes on to him.
Hell no. Robert Redford's just like, I know you're trying to seduce me. We going to do something about this?
He's making the eyes.
Yeah, he's like, let's fucking go.
So Dustin Hoffman came in and he was like, this guy. He's short. He's kind of awkward. This guy's
he's not, bad looking.
Yeah, he's like, this guy's gonna be uncomfortable. This guy, I believe
that the older woman would be like, oh, he's adorable. I must have him.
And so that's why we have Dustin Hoffman here. The other funny thing I heard is that when he went in for his to try out for the part, he got mistaken for a window washer and he just ran with it. And that's part of, that's part of what sold it for him is that, again, like he came in, they had dressed him like the window washer and he said, okay, and washed the window. So, if you're trying to prove that you're a good actor.
He walks in and they're just immediately just like, oh, you must be the guy you're the one. Here's your uniform. Here's the squeegee.
I guess. I wish there was more details. Like, that's the one thing where it's like, I need to hear more about this.
You think it happened like it does in this movie where like every time he tries to, he's just like, no, I'm here for my audition. Well, no, it's okay. Here's the window.
Wouldn't that be perfect though?
It would.
That would explain why they thought he was great for
Exactly. The director's just like, fucking guy's perfect. I completely thought.
I thought he was this guy.
Remember scene 8 or whatever the fuck? It happens the same fucking way.
Those are the things. Those are the kind of fun things that we can mention about him. We don't need to talk about his illustrious
mini accomplishments.
Yeah. Our next star, Anne Bancroft, again. You know who we're talking about.
She's been hot since forever.
Yeah, she was hot before this movie. This movie made her hot.
She was hot well into like the 80s.
Yeah, the thing that I do need to say
she didn't stop being hot till she hit almost like 60.
The thing I have to say about Anne Bancroft that people might not realize. So yes, she is playing Mrs. Robinson. She is supposed to be the older woman seducing this younger man.
Much younger. Supposed to be like
double
her age.
Yeah, they literally, she says half my age at some point to him.
Yeah. So if he's 21, she's like
42. Yeah, she's in her 40s for sure, at the very minimum. She was only 6 years older than Dustin Hoffman.
Jesus. So he was like what, like 28, 27? So that'd make her,
he was a lot older.
That'd make her my
character.
age. She'd be like 36 or something like that.
So this is what, when you look it up, like if you go to IMDb or other places for trivia, they literally are just like, they don't even try to be nice about it. They're like, Anne Bancroft was just such a wild drinker and notorious chain smoker that she had aged herself to the point that
she looked 10 years older than she was.
The fact that Dustin Hoffman looked 7 years younger than he did, because I did not buy him for 21, knowing that he's like 27 to 29. He's somewhere in that. He's almost 30 age.
Yeah.
To know that, it's like, damn, dude, for real?
What's your skin routine, homie? Shit.
But the tie-in factors of those two things made it to where you see the movie and you're like, yeah, I buy that.
Yeah. And Dennis Hoffman didn't start looking.
Dustin.
You God damn it. Every fucking time.
We got it on camera. We got it on audio. People are hearing that one.
I don't even care about what I was saying now.
It's all good.
I'm so embarrassed.
Don't worry about it, man.
Anyway. No, he didn't start aging until like late 90s. It's
until
like
Dustin Hoffman started looking old the minute he started getting the longer eyebrow hairs.
Yeah, when they start going wispy like Gandalf.
Before that, I'd have still been like, I don't
you're
know.
40.
I don't know what age
right?
you are. You tell me. I'll buy it.
Somewhere anywhere between 35 and 58.
But keep in mind, like, again, so that's a good point. We kind of skimmed over this. This movie is from 1967.
Yes.
That makes it our oldest non-Nosferatu movie, non-black and white movie.
I kept saying that at work. I was like, yeah, it's the oldest movie we've done. And then I'd be like, oh, fuck, I forgot about Nosferatu.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, how would we get older? We'd have to find the old... 1910 Frankenstein fucking silent movie.
Well, this one and Hercules in New York, though, were close. That one was 69. This is 67, so it was close. Now, that being said, this is a full-length movie, right? Like, Hercules in New York feels like nothing movie.
It feels like a made-for-TV movie.
You blink and you miss half of it type movie. This one's full-length. It really goes the distance.
Still a good movie, though. People hate on Hercules in New York. I loved it. I thought it was great.
So beyond Anne Bancroft, though, sorry, I went off a little bit.
It's fine.
To bring it back. I think we were done with her. It was again the
we
one
mentioned
crazy
Arnold
thing.
Schwarzenegger. We're done. We got to get back
on
track.
The one crazy thing about her was just again the age thing. Like it's a pretty crazy again. But you know her, and if you don't, look her up.
I'm
not going to be the one.
She's another one that has like 8
yeah,
fucking Academy Awards.
I'm not going to be the one to have to tell you. You just find out, right? Like, I mean, there's no reason for me to waste my breath.
We can't do all the damn work.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's
all the information is there for you.
Oh, give me 1 second. I think I typed something wrong somewhere.
Uh-oh.
It's all good. It's not a big deal. I just want to make sure for speaking to real people.
Edit.
Whatever. I don't.
I'm not going to give a shit. Well, cool. I'm almost out of beer, so I'm going to open this one.
Yeah, I just wrote down the wrong name because I was about to mention Feeney. Everyone on Patreon. But I had accidentally, I don't even think I typed it wrong. It looks like somehow one of my notes got mismatched with that note. Like I didn't notice that I jumped lines when typing.
Oh.
So instead of so somewhere when I'm reading, I'm going to see William Daniels randomly from where it's, I switched places. But instead of saying William Daniels for Feeney, it says Mike Nichols. And I was just, I know it's William Daniels because I was like, I know Feeney.
Yeah, Mr. Feeney.
And so I knew that was the name. So I was just looking. I was like, no, Mike Nichols is the director. That's
Mr.
not right.
Feeney didn't direct this movie.
I know.
I'm pretty sure.
That was exactly.
He could have. I believe Feeney could have done it. He'd be really good at controlling the actors, right? Like anytime they'd get all pissed off and stuff, he'd give them one of those like Feeney inspirational speeches and shit.
All right. I wanted to say before her anyway. So again, guys, real quick, Patreon people, you saw that?
Yeah, you saw it.
This
more incentive to go to Patreon, guys.
Well, they won't. The audio people won't hear that because I still have to clip out. But yeah, I had to double check a fact problem. You guys had fun. I'm sure you got to. That's what you get. This behind the scenes dumb stuff that happens sometimes. Notes sometimes when you do digital are not as good as you would like. Because if I had just hand wrote that. Bo's got it. Because if I would have hand wrote that, there's no way I would have accidentally put the wrong name on the wrong line, right? Like, but again, if you're not paying attention to that mouse cursor bumping into the wrong space.
Yeah, the only problem you have on handwritten notes is trying to watch and write at the same time. Sometimes you I had an arc.
I don't. I pause every time I need to take a note almost. The kids hate if they watch a movie.
You go look at some of the older notebooks and shit. You'll see like my writing starts going in like a curve because I'm trying to watch it and write at the same time.
All right, we need to get back. So this is officially, guys, for Patreon, we're about to go back.
Yeah, back into next
the
thing
actual is official
episode.
Audio after this. All right, now that we're done with Anne Bancroft, though, we have to mention her, Catherine Ross, just because again, main characters, a main character, right? We got to talk about the main character.
She's been in other shit. I know she has. I can't think of a damn bit of it, though.
I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't check. We can find out right now. I'll take a pause for the cause.
Pause for the cause, everybody. Because she looked so fucking familiar.
No.
Is she one of those girls?
No. It just closed on me.
Oh.
That's what the no's were for. Yeah, this is not going to be an audio episode, most likely. So again, this is Patreon. Well, it's just I realized I was like
rubbing against the
Well,
microphone.
just so far away from it and my shoulder in the way that there's most of that was probably the most muffled sounding stuff.
Talking into your armpit. And mine's probably super loud because I'm leaned in trying to look at the computer.
Okay, so her biggest ones are The Graduate, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
That's what it is.
The Stepford Wives, the original one from the 70s.
That might be that one too.
And Donnie Darko. She is the psychiatrist, the Dr. Lillian Thurman, the psychiatrist.
Yeah, see, there you go. That's probably why I recognize her. I like all those movies.
Which, again, probably means she's in more. But we weren't
doing
doing
the biggest ones.
Well, like we said, we weren't doing deep dives for people on this one.
No,
this is one of those movies. You can definitely take the time to find everything. Bo asked, and since I didn't do deep dives, I felt like I should answer him.
I feel special.
So we stopped to make sure we got the answer for him. Outside of those people, though, nobody is even a major enough character to worry about. Like, yes, Mr. Robinson is there, but dude, he's barely on screen.
Yeah.
And half the time he's on screen, he's blurred because the whole point is that you're always seeing him like in sunlight or like he's sweaty in the dark and stuff. And so, yeah, I get it that he is there, and I get it. He's the guy that got slighted. I understand it's rude as fuck.
They really should have focused on him a little more. He is the poor cuck here, isn't he?
And it's rude as fuck for us to not also address it. I don't know. Say cuck on YouTube? I just won't use that for a short.
There you go.
We're far enough into the episode; it shouldn't cause too many issues for us. But yeah, so I get it, guys. Don't come at me for that one. We wanted to keep this one a little more laid back. These are because this is such a big
classic.
One. Yeah. That being said, there are two more people I have to mention. The ones that people because these are fun. These are fun, right? So we have as Ben's dad, William Daniels. If you don't know that name, Bo, you hit him.
Feeney.
He is Mr. Feeney.
You Boy Meets World.
Know him from the Feeney Call. He is also the voice of Kit from Knight Rider.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
He is the fucking car, dude. Him and the Hoff were buddies.
I love that fucking car, man.
Him and the Hoff were buddies.
Well, add that to the list of TV shows we will eventually do.
So again, like we can't. Again, me and Bo are the age where Boy Meets World was the shit.
No, we grew up with fucking me. Ben Savage grew up like the same rate,
and so again, we can't not talk about it, right? Like it's just you got to say it, Mr. Feeney. Like we all know him, we love him.
We love Mr. Feeney. He taught us.
He's the teacher
so much.
He's the teacher of a generation.
He really is.
Right.
The episode where he's talking to the pretty boy, Sean. Is that his name? I can't remember. He's talking to him, and he's got the fancy paper for painting, and he's like, try and rip it and stuff. And he's like, oh, I can't. And he just puts a little thing in it, and he rips it real easy. He's like, see, even the smallest bit of damage can unravel everything. And she got to. I'm like, man,
he's it. Look, again, there's a reason we had to stop and talk about it, the fact that he's here. But again, he is in a lot of the movie. And he is so not Mr. Feeney through this whole. He's an asshole. Way different kind of dude. Way different kind of guy right now.
Right.
But we have to say it's Mr. Feeney.
If it wasn't for the voice, I would have been like, "No, that's not Feeney."
Yeah. But you can hear a dude with certain a mustache. Words he said, especially like there were just certain words where you're like, "That was Feeney."
When he's talking to him at the pool, it's almost.
Yes.
It is almost a Feeney speech, but then he's just like, "Can you get off your dead ass?"
Then the last person I even want to mention here is Richard Dreyfuss as a very small cameo.
I missed it entirely because
it's
so
a blink.
young.
It's literally one time, and it's a blink, and you'll miss it. So the boarding house that he lives in. There's one scene where you see every boarder like over
they
his
all
shoulder.
Come running because Elaine screams because he finally's like, no, like your mom came on to me.
But so during that and he's the only one that got a speaking role. The rest of them are just like staring in, like what? But one guy goes, "I'm gonna call the police. I'm gonna call the police."
It's apparently a baby-faced Richard Dreyfuss.
It's Richard Dreyfuss.
Man, he needs that beard. Or I just don't recognize him.
But yeah, it's one of those fun ones to know that he's here because that was at a time where
before he's famous,
it's
right?
His career could have been way different, and nobody ever talked about it again. Right. But he's not, and now we're like, hey, look at this tiny little pop in he had. That's awesome.
If it wasn't for Jaws, we wouldn't give a shit.
The other again, this is a off the top of my head, so I didn't look up actor names. So you guys can be mad at me. But again, like Three's Company is something I watched in reruns, not that I actually watched.
Nick at Night, man. Remember how great that was?
Right?
Like 9 o'clock and all these like old shows started. It was fantastic.
So our boarding house operator, owner, whatever you want to say he is.
Landlord?
Yeah, whatever it is. That guy is Mr. McCreary, right? That's what it is. Very Irish name. I remember
is.
Mr. McCreary is also the guy who played Mr. Roper on Three's Company, the landlord.
And he's like
it's
the
like
same,
typecast.
he's the same guy too.
Yeah.
He even kicks him out like he's always trying to do the fucking other people.
It's good. So again, the guy was kind of typecast.
I swear the part where he's just like, I want you out of here. Why? Because I don't like you. I swear I've heard him say the exact same thing on
He probably
Three's Company.
did. He probably said it to Jack.
Yep, because I don't like you.
So again, I don't know the guy's actor's name. You can come at me. I'm too young to really like. It's not like I didn't grow up watching the show that kind of way.
It wasn't the main character.
No,
right? So it's just Mr. Roper.
But I know that I do know that that's Mr. Roper.
Right.
I at least want to put that out there.
It's like Norm on Cheers. I don't
Yes.
know his actual fucking name. That's goddamn Norm.
I had an elder moment. I do know that guy's name. I just can't think of it right now, and I hate that you just did that.
I fucked it up.
I can tell you this though. He is fuck. God damn it! Now you made me forget. He is related. He's like Jason Sudeikis' uncle.
Oh, that's cool.
Or some kind of family relation to Jason Sudeikis. So there.
Yeah, I can kind of see it.
Okay, that's so off track. We were done with all of our actors. Let's get into the movie.
In the actual movie.
Oh well, actually.
There's something else that's important about this movie.
Well, you hit me with yours first because mine are technically tangential to the movie, not the movie itself.
The entire soundtrack.
Well, that's one of them. So
is
yeah, okay,
Simon and Garfunkel. So
well,
if you don't like Simon and Garfunkel,
well, leave. But all of these tracks fit perfectly.
They do.
Like, I'm gonna tell you, even if you don't like them, at least just give a chance to the vibe that needs to be set for the scene.
Yeah, the music is perfect for the movie.
Oh, 100%.
If you don't like them, I do. I like
Simon and Garfunkel. This is what you keep saying it, and I'm looking at you. It's not because like
no,
it's because I have a problem believing that. And if you are listening, if you're a listener of ours and you don't like them, I'm not saying you don't need to stay because I love you and I want you to stay. But at the same time, I don't know if I'd be that offended.
Right.
I don't know if I'd be that offended. I've got questions about your taste if you're telling me that. But yeah, Simon and Garfunkel is the whole soundtrack.
I love them because it's like they desperately want to be like the king's minstrel.
Dude, the music is so good. Again, I love them because it's pop music, but the vibe of the pop music is not from the era they're from.
No,
it's like pop music from Shakespeare.
Yeah, it's like Shakespeare's play. This is what Shakespeare was playing on his fucking iPod.
I swear it's so good. And then obviously, if we're gonna talk about the soundtrack, we can stop to be like the fact how perfect the Mrs. Rob.
Yeah,
come on. It's good.
Did they write the song for the movie?
I don't think it's like that because do you listen to the song? It's not really.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not necessarily something that. But again, it does
because her name is Mrs. Robinson.
Yeah, it was really good. Well, and I don't know enough about the book to know if the name was Mrs. Robinson in the book, and that's why they
changed it just so they could use the song.
Again, if they chose the soundtrack, I didn't look into that kind of detail. So if listeners tell us, this is the kind of thing that the comments are for.
Here's the banner,
right? Leave that in the comment for us.
Shit like that.
We could, dude, but if you want to start
doing a lot of work on you. There you go.
I'm not doing it. You have fun with that, Bo.
Like I'd be able to figure that out. I could barely turn that ghost of a machine on.
But so that though is a good segue since talking about the book for the other thing. So you mentioned one of the two things I wanted to say.
All right, cool. You do the other one.
The other one is the pseudo sequel to this. And so I want to make sure people understand when I'm saying that we're a movie podcast for the main part, maybe video games.
Video games, TV.
Well, we've not done that yet.
Pro wrestling.
At some point. But essentially, maybe not literature. I'm not saying we would never. We're both readers.
We can do a book.
I'm not saying never, but so far it's never been something we're floating. I'm just saying.
We'll wait till we do Lord of the Rings. We can kind of compare and contrast.
So that's what we could do here. This is why I'm saying stop, Bo.
Stop being pretentious.
Well, not even that. I'm just saying you're trying to put more. You're saying the things that could make people say, well, you could have done that today because this has a book. That I'm saying, Bo, stop.
They could goddamn wait. This is our show.
My point though is just saying that when you hear me say pseudo sequel, no, I'm talking about the movie one, not the book
not
one,
the
because
book.
we are a movie central podcast. How's that? Movie
That
central.
works.
It's centric.
That works. I like that word better.
So again, that's our main focus here.
Because I think Movie Central podcast is an actual podcast.
Well, movie centric probably is too if you look it up.
That's true.
Shout
Go look. If they are, go subscribe.
Hey, yeah.
We love podcasts.
I don't care. I love everybody.
love all of you.
Especially if you want to do the same kind of thing we're doing. That's awesome. I love it. I hate that there's so many of us that it makes it to where some of us can't get views because there's so much option.
We all seem to kind of watch each other's
shit.
shit.
Yes. But I love that we have a community.
Yeah.
Right? It's good. But back to what I was saying. Rumor has it is a movie that's like a pseudo sequel. It's weird, right? So like it's fourth wall breaking sequel.
Yeah.
Because like it's a movie that takes place in a world that is like it's our world. And that movie was based on real people, or the book, I guess, too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But they always mention the movie, right? Because again, that's what we all know.
Yeah.
And so like
who the fuck reads?
It's Jennifer Aniston, Kevin Costner. There's
good cast though.
There's more, I'm sure. Those just why I can remember off the top of my head. But so Jennifer Aniston is playing like the daughter of Elaine. Again, probably has a different name in that movie.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I watched it. It is good
because I doubt it's the same because they changed the name.
Yes, exactly. Because it was based on people. They had
the unsolved mysteries in the beginning.
Yep. So she is like the daughter of Elaine, but not Ben's daughter, because in this world they did not stay together.
I'm shocked.
Right? They did not stay together. She did not have his child, because that is actually
that.
Well, part of the plot in the movie is that she doesn't know who her dad is. Or she thinks maybe her dad's not her dad.
As long as it's not Carl, he seemed like a douche.
Well, and so part of what she was doing was like when she found out that
the movie was real
and based on her family, she was like, well, then maybe that guy is my dad. But that's when he starts hitting on her, and it becomes a whole thing, because you're like, holy shit, this dude has a weird obsession with that family.
Yeah, he does.
Right? The fucking
any one of them.
At this point, because at that point it makes it that he would put the moves on grandma, mom, and daughter. Right? Like, whoa, dude. Whoa. But also kudos to be able to at least get pseudo interest from all of them.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're a suave motherfucker, I guess.
But so I would tell you guys it's worth a check.
Like Casanova did shit like that, didn't he? Like he got the grandma, mom, and
I would tell everybody it is a movie that I feel like a lot of people haven't seen, and it's worth a check. Like if you like,
I haven't seen it.
You check it out, dude. I'm telling you.
Right.
Again, you like the cast.
Yeah. So me, you, we're all gonna go.
Maybe
watch
we'll
it.
come back and revisit. You know what I'm saying?
Our second sweep month where we clean up fucking sequels.
Exactly. We've already got the first one covered. It would have to be the second. But yeah. Well, because
season 3.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
But yeah, it's one of those things though. It came out in like 2011. The book came out. The writer of the book did make a sequel, but it came out after that movie.
So he's just trying to get some money.
It was a cash grab. Well, because think about how long.
Trouble with the IRS.
It was like
money.
2014, I think. Don't quote me on the movie was 11.
50 years after the movie.
Way after, dude. So again, like obviously cash grab, right? The guy was just in a hard spot. He needed fucking money, whatever it was.
Good for you, man.
He knew people would buy it. They hated it.
It is bought it though. That's all that matters.
Well, because in his story they stayed together, and it's like their mundane, almost suburban style.
Just the most boring fucking ending ever.
They're dealing with their kids.
Oh, they stay together. They have kids. They kind of hate each other.
They need money, and they're trying to hit up Mrs. Robinson for the cash. Which again, like,
did she at least like be like, "You got to fuck me to get the money"?
I doubt it. I guess.
Get a little naughty. Give me something.
I've not read that book, but nothing I was finding when I was just looking about it
made you feel like that.
Made it mention, like, felt like they were mentioning the again, like the dynamic is just that they're trying to hit that they as a couple are trying to get her to help them with. So she's just like this evil matriarch character, not necessarily Mrs. Robinson style.
Nearly as fun.
No, dude. Well, and again, that's why most people were like, you could have just said this was a different book. You didn't have to tell me this was a sequel. They gave them different names. And I was
why make it a sequel? Just like it's its own fucking
that's the
thing.
cash grab. That's why people said it was him just trying to make money because they knew that he knew the notoriety.
And you know what? I bet it's fine. But if you read it, it's like actually like it's
sure.
well written and all that shit.
But it's just
the fact that you're like this is
the
just,
shoehorning.
Yeah,
right.
That can ruin shit.
All right,
like that fucking Harry Potter book she put out like 8 years after she was done.
Well, we don't even need to address her at all, though.
I didn't name her. She who shall not be named.
That's perfect. That she's the one that came up with it, and now it just fits.
Yeah,
for her.
Came back to bite you in the ass, didn't it?
On that note, though, we can definitely get into our movie. Those were the last things that I was like, maybe would derail us if we don't just take care of them now. Well, the soundtrack definitely would have derailed us, right? Like we'd have been like, and this is when this song was playing, and we gotta stop and talk about this one, which we still might do, but we're less likely to be like, we need to tell them everything about it now.
Yeah, it's Simon Garfunkel.
Yeah. We've covered some stuff.
Starts right fucking now.
You want to hit him with what song?
The fucking Sound of Silence.
This song is used a couple times in the movie, perfectly though, because if you know the song. Again, I'm not here to educate you about the song.
Disturbed did an awesome cover if you haven't heard it.
Well, but even theirs is a little harder to hear the part that I'm going to address for the movie here. Simon and Garfunkel, there are two different parts of the song, right? Like one part is happy, fun, jolly. One part gets to where it's and the sound. And again, Disturbed is always kind of in that timbre, right? Like they never hit the jolly.
They put so much fucking metal behind it.
Yes,
it's so much better than the original. I hate saying it,
but for this movie, we need this version.
Yeah, no, it would
because they use it twice.
It wouldn't work
in the beginning. They used the part that's slow and somber to really drive home that he's melancholy.
Yeah,
and doesn't
he's
know what's
coming
going
home from college on the
doesn't
on
know
the
what to do with it.
airplane,
You can literally like. If you've been 20 years old, you don't even have to have been someone who just graduated college. If you've been 20 years old and been like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my life, you know this look. Like Dustin Hoffman pulls it off. Like as soon as I saw him, I'm like, I know that.
Yeah, dude.
I felt that.
He has the whole look through, like the whole walk.
Oh yes,
through the airport and shit. He's just got this like zombie face. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do?
But the reason Sound of Silence works twice in this movie is because when they do it the second time, they're using the happier part, and it fits the fucking when they play it the second time, you're like, oh shit, dude, this is good. You feel happy when you hear it, and you're like, man, it's masterfully to use that song two different ways like that. I love it. Sorry.
No, it's great. Because I can't even fucking really describe it because I wish I'd gone to actual film school. I'd probably have bigger words for it.
It's okay, dude. That's what we're here for, though. We're to make sure that the other people like us can feel heard and seen about.
If the podcast gets really fucking big, maybe I'll use it to pay for film school.
Fund us to have better words for our podcast.
I can go learn them $2 college words, right? Because I'm just a hillbilly.
This song, though, like you were saying, it plays because the whole time he is walking through the airport, he's got that face. He's got that face of just like, it's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like existential dread, but it's not that hardcore, right?
Yeah,
like
it's just kind of like a...
That's why I like melancholy. It's kind of like this, like he just doesn't know what to feel.
The fuck?
He's just
he's like, I know I'm going home to these like really expecting people who like are expecting me to like know what the fuck I'm going to be doing next.
Again, it's like this aloof, just
dread.
Like it's dread, but not like, to me, melancholy is always like it's that dread that's not as dreadful. Yeah. That's why melancholy is a fun sounding word, but it's not actually a fun word. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's fun to say.
It is
melancholy,
but it doesn't mean fun.
It's like mahogany,
right? And so to me, that's how I always remember it. I'm like, so then melancholy is like, again, like how he is. He's not so dreadful that like
he's like crying.
He's
I don't want to go.
He's not an emo. You know what I mean? He's not. It's not that bad.
The stewardess didn't find him in the airport bathroom. You know, just like cutting his wrist.
But he's definitely feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's for sure. But then you get that point where he hits the door, dude. The instant face change, and I love that we don't see that the family is outside, but you know that's what it means.
What it is. He's
like
got to
you
put the mask on,
right? You knew it, right? As soon as you see the smile, you're like fakeness.
Yep, there it is. And as soon as he gets back into his room, it's gone again.
Dude, I love that transition
with
shot
with the fish tank and shit behind him.
Well, how they use the glass of the door then to mirror the glass of the fish. Oh, dude.
The transitions in this movie is a master class.
You will hear us mention this a lot. Again, sometimes it's not just about the movie, what it's saying. It's just about like the way it looks,
way it's shot and filmed, and all the
dude. That's what I gotta say about
edit.
this. Mike Nichols is great,
yes,
for that, and several of the movies we mentioned
all throughout
before,
the movie.
and in this one especially, like in the '60s. That's some just like art house
they'd
style fucking
no,
filming.
they'd have to do like they'd have 10 guys on computers having to CGI this
and
transition.
He did some crazy tricks.
Yes,
right.
Just a crazy camera trick that is probably lost to time now.
I love it. But yeah, so once we get to his house, though, and again, this is that part where if you've been a college graduate, and I'm not trying to say anything. It took me 10 years to graduate college, and by no means...
I just went to culinary school. It only took 3 years.
Well, by no means am I a doctor, though. I was trying to make sure people understand. Like, I struggled to get through.
You get through school when you get through school.
So I'm not trying to say you should, but I'm saying, like, as someone who did, even though it took me that long, I know that feeling of, like, standing around a bunch of people being like, so what's your plan next? It took me 10 years, and so you would think that I had a plan next. I had no plan next.
I went to culinary school, and my plan next was work in a kitchen. I couldn't even fucking get that accomplished.
So I would, like when...
So I started a podcast.
So I can totally understand how this kid, who again, as far as we can see the rest of the movie, it's weird that everybody asked him what his plan next was, but his dad kept saying that graduate school was next.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's like, well, if...
You're going to graduate school
If they all know his dad, like, none of the people in that house were his friends. They were all his dad's
it was all his
friends.
parents' friends.
Then shouldn't they have all known what his plan next was?
Yeah, they should have been like, oh, yeah, because his dad would have told him. They'd be like, oh, he's going to do this.
Whatever school it was that he wants him to...
Fucking law school or whatever
the fuck.
his
plan was. Yeah.
His dad and parents clearly had his whole life mapped.
And you can tell, again, that's part of what this whole thing is. Like, this movie has a ton of, like, mini rebellion, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's because that's the era. It's the 60s. It's like, it's all about, like, that generation was rebellious, even if the rebellion wasn't fucking
love, you gonna go
fight the power.
Acid.
Sometimes it was rebellion on his scale, which was just like, I don't want to do what they want me to do.
I'm going to not go to graduate school.
I don't want to. Well, and it wasn't even like he necessarily didn't want to do it. He just knew that because they said that's what he needed to do, that he didn't want to do that.
I'm going to put it off as long as humanly possible.
But yeah, so he hates this party because it is relentless, one person after the other asking that question.
Yep.
What are you doing next?
All the way up until even that one guy is just like, what are you doing? Have you thought about plastics? When he takes him outside to the
I know.
pool
I
shit.
love that
It's
scene.
just
That's what he does for like uncomfortably long.
He just
stares like he was waiting for the dude to say more. And then finally he goes, what do you mean, Mr. McGuire?
What am I supposed to do with the plastics?
I don't understand. And he just goes, there's a big future.
There's a big future in it.
Just make me a promise.
Think about it.
Okay.
It's a deal. And he walks off so happy. Like he might as well have signed the contract that Ben's going to work for him on Monday.
Dude, and he is still so clueless. He's just standing there like, I still don't understand what just happened to me.
I'm going to my room now. I'm done with all of this.
I can't blame him, though.
No, I relate a lot to this fucking whole thing because I don't like big groups of people. So I'm totally him. Especially when they all start paying attention to me, I'm like, oh shit! Now I gotta put on a show or something.
Now people are expecting something.
Yeah, like now I got so I start trying to be like overly funny.
Yes, well, and you can tell like that's definitely, you're right. That is the 100% the kind of uncomfortableness he is feeling. And so finally, that was the last straw, right? That guy was the one that would made him go, I'm done with the party. I'm going to my room. Back to Fish Tank.
He's in his room for all of 5 seconds, and the fucking door just gets kicked in.
Fucking Mrs. Robinson.
She was eye banging him the whole time downstairs. Did you see her in the background? She's just sitting there, just
and again,
smoking her fucking Cruella de Vil cigarette.
The way she comes in before anything is said, you're just like, she didn't need no bathroom.
I thought it was his dad. Where the fuck did you go? Why are you leaving these people?
She didn't need no bathroom, though.
No.
She asked for the bathroom. He's like down the hall.
Comes in,
just
sits
keeps
down,
talking,
starts
like
smoking a cigarette.
Mrs. Robinson, I said the bathroom was down the hall.
Yeah, that's nice, but
do you have an ashtray? He says,
that's right, you don't smoke.
And then ashes on his
pillow
pillow
and shit. He just gets the trash can.
No, dude, it was a pillow. Look,
Oh, was it his pillow?
Because she sits on his bed, and it's the thing right beside her. She's just like,
what? She does this shit all the time. If you pay attention,
Yeah,
throughout the movie, she ashes anywhere. She
did I not mention Anne Bancroft was a notorious chain smoker?
But at least fucking
the 60s the 60s is a time too, dude. Like it would have been real. Like like today, even when you are a real smoker, the studio still usually wants you to use like fake cigarettes
the herb cigarette or whatever,
or even just the ones that have the powder and you can like, it looks completely real. But
like we used to get it like the festival,
yes,
shit, the fake ones.
But studios, because they just don't want that liability of having a real tobacco product on screen. So like, but the 60s was a time where they were just like, you're a smoker, we need you to be a chain smoker. And Anne Bancroft was just like, I got you.
Got it.
You mean I get to be comfortable every scene?
Just make sure you get my brand, which is apparently Parliament.
Dude, it's fancy back in the day.
Yeah, back in the 60s.
It did not have the connotations today as it did back then.
Does it even exist still?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, yes, we know this is the scene. She starts the hitting on him.
It seems super innocent, but it's all really weird and off.
Well, here's the thing. It seems innocent-ish.
Ish.
I don't know about you, but I could already get the vibe. The only reason
she is on the hunt.
The only reason it seems innocent is because of
the
Ben.
words.
Well, and
using.
Ben, it's Ben.
Yeah.
It's because Ben is oblivious at this point, and so it makes it not feel as strongly coming on. But she is definitely still strongly coming on. He doesn't get it yet,
Right?
And so she just keeps trying to be like,
"Come on, man. Hey,
you understand?
Open fucking gate. Let's
go."
go.
So she finally says, "All right, just take me home."
He tries to give her his keys. Like, here you go. Just take my car.
Again, proving he has no idea what's going on. And then she's like, I can't drive a stick. And throws the keys back at him. Into the tank.
I was like, why'd you do that?
That was so... I was like, I don't understand.
I mean, back in the 60s, not a big deal. You did that shit now, dude. Your car's fucked. You're not going to be able to start it.
It was a weird move on her part to be like, hey, let me just chuck these over here into this fish tank. This is when we get to see his sweet car. We forgot to mention his graduation gift. This is one of the things that was being constantly thrown around at the party.
James Bond fucking car.
Alfa Romeo.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a dope looking car. It's nice right now. Man, this car gets run
through. Trashed throughout this movie. I feel so bad.
It's one of the nice... It's a nice touch. Since so many of the cuts take place without them telling us...
Yeah.
Like, time...
The grunginess of the car is a good indicator.
Although that being said, it is also only one summer, and he demolishes this car in a summer.
He drives like an asshole.
Yeah, well,
even before he starts acting like an asshole.
That's what I was trying to say.
He drives like an asshole.
Right now is the first scene you see of it. As soon as they get in the car, we don't really see the drive. We just see him stop, and the face she makes at him and the way that stop was done, you can tell he doesn't know how to drive that car.
Yeah, she's just like, fuck, thank God we made it.
Like, that's the reason he threw her the keys. He was like, I can't drive that thing.
She has this look at him just like, fucking shit, man.
I love that she doesn't even tell him to open her door, right? Like, he stops and is like, okay, we're here. And she just goes,
and
he's like, finally. Oh, shit,
yeah,
I should open your door.
Gentlemanly behavior,
and then she's like, will you please walk me in?
She bullies him into the house.
She
says, I'm afraid of the being dark.
Walk me in. I'm afraid of it because I left the lights off. And he says, okay. They get up there. Again, he constantly tries to back out. And she finally gets him in the door. We see inside. That place is lit up like the goddamn 4th of July, dude. It wasn't dark.
Super advanced house. It's got motion sensor lights already.
Every light in that fucking bar, living room, den thing was on. And she was like, it's too dark. I can't be there.
I can't do it. No, I'm so afraid.
But again, it's all just to really drive home that how oblivious he is to everything that's happening to him right now, right? Like, he has no clue. He's still just like, okay. All right, whatever, Mrs. Robinson. I understand. It's a little weird. The lights were on. And then she's like, can't you stay?
Till my husband gets home.
I don't like being by myself.
Yeah,
he still doesn't get it.
No,
the last little bit when he didn't get it, I fucking adore, where he's just like, but I mean, couldn't you just lock the door?
Yeah, just lock the door and go to bed. She's just like, she puts up with a lot here.
Yes,
she really does. She's determined.
For a woman who wants what she wants. And
she deals with a lot of like oblivious bullshit.
It's so good, dude.
Maybe that's what she likes about it. She likes the game of
I
trying to explain
well,
what she
okay, so
means.
I think it's great to stop right there because I think you bring up an excellent point. Are we supposed to think she's never done this before? Or that she does this all the time? Is he the first person she's tried to have an affair with?
I feel like she does this shit all the
Oh,
time.
no, I
She
agree.
seems to have
No,
like a pattern.
I
Like
agree.
she's got like a whole line.
But also at the same time, we don't know.
Yeah.
Right? Like we have no clue. So we don't know. Maybe we think that she's
She's
super
romance
cool about
noveled this out in her head
Yeah,
to the point like
it's
this
not,
is exactly what I'm gonna do.
Like maybe it's just that she like thinks like she's got a dream of what this should be, and that's what she's trying to make happen. Is
and
the vision in her head,
bumbling his ass through it, and it's not going quite the way she wants.
Oh, not at all, dude. Because the nervousness is abound once he starts to finally realize too. Like, right, he pieces it together, and he's just like, the famous line, Mrs. Robinson. I think you're trying to seduce me.
The shot through her fucking legs and shit.
Oh, dude, no. The fact that that's the shot that, again, like the famous line is him saying that, and you see the legs. The funny line is her right after, where she's sitting like that, and she's just like, why would you say that? I don't understand.
I hadn't even thought of it.
That's such a great... And again, dude, like, Anne Bancroft does this so well. For a minute, I was even like,
oh, maybe I was wrong. Like I thought that because I've done this before. I have misread shit.
She plays that so much, like where you're just like,
oh, wait, fuck, I was wrong. All right, I'm sorry.
I don't even know anymore, right? Like you're just like,
that's how Ben reacts too. He's just like, oh shit, I'm so sorry. That's like the worst thing I've ever said to somebody.
It's so good.
Please
dude.
forgive me.
It's so good. She just constantly though she keeps playing the back and forth game, right? Like she'll do stuff where it's obviously her hitting on him, and then he'll say something, and then she'll be like, "I'm twice your age. What do you mean?
I mean, I'm flattered and everything.
You could be friends with my daughter. It's so crazy that you're saying things like that.
Have you seen my daughter's portraits? Let's go upstairs."
This is when it starts. Again, that's
what
after
was her goal? Was she wanting to fuck in her daughter's room?
Before we even address that, this is after she's already liquored him up. We almost get past
the poor
the liquor.
Man. He asks for bourbon. She gets scotch. Literally every time in this movie. It's not important enough to do every time it comes up, but it happens like 4 times.
He never gets his
drink.
drink.
Asks for bourbon. They always give him scotch. God damn it,
as a Kentucky boy, I feel for him.
I like scotch, but if I ask you for fucking bourbon, god damn it.
But yeah, it is something to say. He never gets his bearings, and then she throws the let's go upstairs.
Have you seen
my daughter's portrait? And he's just like, again, innocently, because he's back to oh, I was wrong, right?
Oh, okay.
He's like, oh. But how do you not think like this woman is inviting me into a room
upstairs
and not think, no, I was right the first time.
Yeah, I was right the first time. I'm about to get me some here.
He goes upstairs. She's showing off the portrait, and then
terrible portrait. Did you look at it? It's awful. It doesn't look a thing like her.
It's bad.
It is. I'm sure whoever artist worked on it really hard, but it looks awful.
Well, and they even give the line from him to show how bad it's supposed to be. Are her eyes brown?
I didn't even catch that. That's awesome.
Well, again, I don't know. I didn't pay enough attention to see exactly like if her eyes were brown or not. But I feel like that's the reason, right? The reason he says that is to be like, is that right? Is that her? I don't think that even looks like her at all. But yeah, so he's super nervous. He plays this again. She's pseudo hits on, again, this is when it's still kind of like interpretive, right? Like now you're still like, well, I'm not real sure. It's kind of strange, but at the same time, she keeps saying, you're stupid, you're crazy.
Yeah, I'm not trying to hit on you. Now come over here and unzip my dress.
Well, she says, unzip my dress. He's very hesitant, but then finally does it. She takes it off.
Yes.
And then she says to him, like, what, this is too much for you? You've never seen a woman
in her slip?
In her slip.
Yeah.
Right? And he's just like, well, yeah. And I have to stop right now because he acts like it's very uncomfortable and weird, right? Later on, we see him just hang out with his mom, and she's in hers.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable enough with your mom to hang out in her slip, then it was not uncomfortable for you to be. I get it. He already felt hit on.
Yeah.
And it is weird because he still didn't know what was going on.
Hit on hell. He feels like he's being hunted right now.
But at the same time, if he did keep trying to believe her, it was weird to be like, the slip was too much, right? Because again, if the slip was too much, then maybe tell your mom to not hang out in your bathroom
Mom,
like
put
that.
some clothes on. Jesus. A robe, something.
But so he awkwardly navigates his way out of that situation. He throws what would Mr. Robinson think if he came home right now?
What, you don't think he trusts us together? Like, well, yeah, but like it looks weird.
Yeah, and so then he steps out of the room. He's like, I'm gonna go home. I'm done. I can't do this. This is too much. And he goes, and she's like, Ben, could you do me a favor?
Just bring me my purse.
I need my cigarettes. I don't even know if she said that, but you know that's what it was, right? Like, again, you know from the way this movie is. And
He's
the
like,
way
all
she
right.
is.
He's like, all right, I'll go get him. He's like at the bottom of the stairs. I got it.
I'll throw it up.
I'll throw him up.
And then she's like, Ben, bring
Stop
them up
being
here.
silly. Get up
and he
here.
goes, okay, I'll bring them to the top of the stairs and set them down. You come out when you're ready and get them. I'm gonna leave though. Benjamin,
just put him in Elaine's room where we were. Remember? He's like, oh God, I guess. He walks in and she slips in immediately behind him.
Well, and this is when there's no more denying. No. There's no more guessing. There's no more what is happening. There is only this woman wanted
bare-assed and Bancroft. Yes.
The way this is shot. Like we've already talked about the cuts.
I love it so much. They're so quick. You would have to frame by frame this to get a good shot of her naked.
Perfect. You see the titties. You see the this. You see the that.
Because it's
but
like
the way it happens is like
glancing down.
Well,
when
and
you're looking.
it's the hiding a dick in Fight Club, right? Like it happens so fast where you're just like you almost can't process.
Was that what I thought it
right?
was?
Yes, it's totally that kind of thing, right? It's so perfect though because I remember being a young enough guy.
Am I supposed to just stare at the titties?
Where should I look? Is it okay to look there? I know you said I could look there.
Yeah,
I don't know
took
if I
them off. You took their clothes off, so I assume I'm allowed. But do I just stare at them? What am I supposed to do?
And again, like he wasn't even on board yet, and so obviously he's just extra like that, right? He's extra like I don't know if I should. I don't know if it's okay.
What's happening?
It's perfect, dude. But and she comes on, like again.
She does though.
Before she played it so coy.
No, nope, now she's just like, hey man, you want to fuck? Let me know.
If it's anytime. She says, even if it's not right now, you just call me and we'll make it happen.
Be there.
Don't you worry.
The Flash will have a hard time keeping up with me.
Jeez, it was insane how hard she came on.
Fucking running this poor guy down like a gazelle.
And what happens? He hears
screeching tires. It almost sounds like fucking Mr. Robinson's like pissed off showing up,
which is not good.
No, because he immediately bolts down, throws her out of the way of the door,
grabs his drink. You could tell he was trying to be like, how can I get rid of this? If there was a trash can, he would have thrown that glass into the trash can, right? Like he was so like, I don't know. And then finally fucking the door bursts open before he can do anything, and so he's just like, I'm gonna play it cool, like I was supposed to be down here.
I was just guarding the house, right?
Exactly.
You know, I was being the gentleman.
Well, like what she implied, he was there for, and so he's just like, I'm gonna tell him that, and so he comes in. He's just before Mr. Robinson can even talk to him, he's just like, I drove her home.
Yep. I just drove her home.
She needed a ride.
Nothing happened. She didn't get naked. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna leave now. He tries to leave. Dude. Mr. Robinson won't have it. He's like, no, I want to talk to you. Look at you. You're a good looking man. You should be out there sowing your wild oats.
Now I want to talk about every time from this point of the movie until we actually know that he's a homewrecker.
Yeah.
I have so many doubts about whether this man knew, didn't know. Are they swingers? The conversations always felt...
for a second here, it felt like he was going to be like, I need you to bang my wife.
Right. Well, and again, like at no point even like... Because there's a couple of these conversations where it's like, you think he knows, but then the conversation plays out where it's like, oh no, it's about a different topic.
Yeah, it's about something else.
But even the split second before the other topic, you're like, wait, does he? Is he signing off on it?
It's the way he's like fiddling with his cigar, right? Because he's all like licking it and biting the fucking tip.
Well, and he's telling him, like you said, he's telling him to sow his wild oats right after he caught him in his house.
Right. And then she comes down like immediately after that fucking line. So thought he was going to be like, you think my wife's pretty?
Right. It's so
I'd
weird.
be okay with it. And then he's going to like want to watch.
Well,
or something
and the
weird.
way she came down almost made it feel like, she was saying he knows, right? Like it was
the whole thing is a trap, right? They're both in on it.
Weird. It's so I don't blame him for being ready to
just dive out of a pane glass window.
Anything he needed to do to get away.
Fake a heart attack.
The conversation with Mr. Robinson lets us know a couple of things that we didn't know already, though, which is that Mr. Robinson is his dad's business partner.
Yeah, and they've known each other since he was like a baby.
And that Mr. Robinson wants to set him up with
Elaine, his daughter,
so early that you forget that it's mentioned that early, right? Like the dad, Mr. Robinson drops that right now. He's like,
give her a call. She's gonna be back in town
in a week.
I think you guys would be really good together.
And you're just like, already Ben was like, nope,
not doing that because shit got weird already.
Well, and again, like he mentions, like, again, Ben, you're almost like a son to me, dropping the almost Oedipal feel to all of this, like right after don't
say that because I'm already kind of into it. Don't make it weird.
Don't, please. I can't handle that. I can't handle that. Once though this is finished, he makes his break. We assume as the audience, it's done. Yeah. Right? For right now, we're like, okay, everything's weird. Good. It was
we're gonna go on with our day.
Awkward. It's now his 21st birthday because he's only been 20. He finally turned 21, which again is, I love that because I was the kind of person that would have been that age graduating college. That's not the normal.
Yeah.
Right. Usually like he's supposed to be a college graduate at 20.
It's pretty quick. If you went,
he turned 21 in the summer, so it's not. I mean, that's so crazy though. That's crazy.
Went to a fucking 2-year college.
I don't know, man. They imply that he's supposed to have like a full undergrad degree.
Oh, he went to college when he was like 15. He was one of those.
But yeah, so it is officially his 21st birthday. We get to see his dad, Mr. Feeney, trying to introduce him to come outside. Guys, I bought him this cool thing, and on his 21st birthday, he's giving this crazy hype speech.
He's going to do these daring feats of courage in 6 feet of water.
This hype speech was insane. And again, I so love the deadpan look. Again, you can only see his eyes through the scuba gear. But you can tell that the whole face is just deadpan. Like, just why am I doing this?
Fuck. The whole time his dad's like, he says like, Dad, can I talk to you about this for a fucking second? No, shut up. You're disappointing people. Get the fuck out here.
I spent $200 on it. It better be worth it.
And he jumps in the pool and then he's like, all right, I did it. And he tries to come back up and his parents just keep pushing him the fuck back down. Sink to the bottom.
I love that he can't hear anything, right? Like that when he finally steps outside, we get the POV of him to be like all the people.
It's great. Blah, 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 blah.
I appreciated that so much. So much. But yeah,
if you actually hear the audio, you hear them all just motherfucking him. You're like, you're an asshole. I hate you. You're such an ass. You go fucking die.
They push him down, and once he finally stops fighting,
he just succumbs to it and sinks to the bottom. He
literally just sits there like the most depression you've ever seen in your life.
With the bloops.
Yes, just like this is my fate. I have accepted it. It's
part of him's just like, I should just remove the mask and die
and let it all
just
take
let
over.
It end right
let
now.
It all take over. So, but at this point though, I guess it's supposed to be we're seeing that he's hit rock bottom of like this existence, right?
Just doing what his parents tell him to do
all the time.
The being forced to the bottom of a pool was the last straw,
and so he decides, maybe I will take her up on that offer.
Yeah, maybe. What's the worst that can happen?
We see him. We can't tell where he's at yet.
Awkward phone
This
call.
is so funny because we can't tell where he's at, but you can tell it's not home. It's a payphone. He calls her so uncomfortably.
Hey, it's Ben, Benjamin. Yeah, Benjamin. She's like, okay, where are you? She's like, it's Benjamin Braddock. He's like, yeah, I understand that.
She's like,
where the fuck are you? She is immediate. She is thirsty as fuck, dude. Well, she is so on it.
I don't even think it's that. So again, this goes to that. Is she old hat or is this new? Right. Some of it, I tell you, makes you feel like it's new. This is where it's old hat, and I wouldn't say that it's that she's thirsty. It's that if she's old hat at it, she's already to the point to where again she knows this isn't about courting. Yeah. This isn't about. We're not having a relationship.
We're not going to dinner, motherfucker.
This is about me. It's about us getting the deed done. And so again, it's business, right? It's business.
without really getting paid, I guess.
Well,
That's
I just mean
prostitution.
well, again, I just mean there's no courtship.
That's illegal.
There's no fun. It's not dating. It is.
Fuck, they don't even have a conversation until like
dude,
months later after they've been doing this forever.
Again, like that's my point. It's just like, she knows what this is supposed to be, and he's not put it together yet. That's what this is. He thinks somehow that this is still going to be a relationship.
You take her out for a drink and shit.
Right?
Yeah.
And so he's still coming at it from that kind of angle. He's like, just come meet me here.
Yeah, we'll
figure out what we're going to do. Maybe we'll go somewhere else.
It's like, no.
I'll be there in an hour.
This is exactly what's happening.
You stay right there. I'll be there in an hour. Don't move. Then he gets uncomfortable because he's like, I don't know what to do. For an hour, right?
Yeah.
I love this random, we don't need throwaway scene where he like walks up and the guy's like, can I help you?
Are you looking to have an affair, sir?
What?
What? No,
Are you here for the affair?
there's a party over here. So it is. I even wrote in my notes, this is a useless scene of him just being like, they don't understand that he's not part of the party.
These are the scenes for it to be comedy, right? Like, again, if
In the 60s, I guess.
Well, if you take it out, though, you got to admit the awkwardness overwhelms any kind of comedy. Because he is awkward, and in some movies they play that for comedy. And at no point would I say Ben's awkwardness in this movie is played for comedy. It's played to make you feel that way, for you to be like, I understand why he does.
Yeah, bro, I get it. You're nervous about what you're about to do, but just go in the bar and sit down. Stop talking to people.
I do appreciate, though, this is one of the funnier like callback later scenes, because he goes in and they're like, what's your name? And he does use his real name to the people at the party, but they mishear him. They're like, well, we don't have that, but we have a Braniff.
The fucking one old lady's like, it's nice to meet you, Mr. Braniff.
And she comes back later when everybody at the hotel is saying Gladstone.
Almost.
No, it's in the middle when
he takes the lane, she's like, I want to go.
Everybody says Gladstone, and he plays off that. He gives her an excuse for that.
They got me confused with somebody else.
And then he gets out the door, and that bitch comes in and says, Mr. Braniff.
Mr. Braniff,
And she's just immediately like, another name?
What the fuck?
Dude, that's such a beautiful callback. Again,
it is.
Dumb scene now. Callback was great.
Because it prompts her to ask him if she's having an affair later.
It's great. I appreciate that it's here. I'll get mine queued up. That way we won't have to make a pause when I'm ready to pour mine. Yeah, it is truly a great callback, but again, the scene here doesn't play as great as maybe it did play better for the 60s. I don't know.
Probably.
It's one of those things where it's like I don't know what
it's more as the kids nowadays. It's more cringe.
Yeah.
It's like, man, come on, quit trying to fucking like
figure out. But then he finally breaks down. He breaks down though. He's just like, I am not one of your guests. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm sorry. I'm gonna walk back this way.
The one guy's just like, I don't get it. And I'm like, I don't either, man. I don't know why this whole thing had to happen.
I do appreciate that she finally shows up. Dude, did you the subtlety in some of the shots and scenes, right? Like the subtlety of the way it was when she showed up. She's got no makeup on.
Yep.
She's down dressed.
Yep.
For a lady like her, that is really trying to drive home
the cheetah print,
how quickly she ran out the house, right?
The cheetah print dress or the jacket is like the most outlandish thing.
She's not got the hair. Her hair is like down. She
didn't even have lipstick on.
It is to play up the fact of she did immediately drop everything. This wasn't like she knows what this is supposed to be.
Yep. Doesn't matter if I got makeup on.
And Ben doesn't understand what this is supposed to be, right? Like, and so she's literally like, he's just talking to her. Kind of, he's having
like a date.
He feels like a decent conversation with her. And she just cuts him off. Are we getting a room? Have you gotten a room?
What's going on?
Get the room? I don't understand. He's like, I'll get the room. Get the room.
Yeah, do it now.
Because again, this is not. I'll say this a whole bunch in this episode. I promise. This is not courtship.
No.
And she makes sure. She reminds him constantly. Anytime he gets courtship style, she reminds him, that's not what we're here for.
It's not what we're doing. We are not boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yes.
We are animals fucking.
And he never really picks up on it.
No, never really picks up on it.
So he takes her, he goes to get the room. This is great.
This is where Mr. Gladstone comes from, because he writes
his real name.
Tears it off and stuffs it in his pocket.
Are you okay, sir?
Yeah, yes. I'm fine. Just I fucked up.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Gladstone, do you have baggage?
Yes.
All right.
I have a toothbrush.
It's in
my car.
I'll send a bellboy out to get it.
I got it. Don't worry about it. I got this.
Okay.
I can get the toothbrush.
I'll get a hop to take you up to your room and show you where it's at.
Don't worry about it. I can do that.
I'm
alone.
Oh.
I'm by myself.
All right, sir. If that's what you wish.
Okay. As long as we get, I'm going in the room by myself.
Dude, it was so funny.
I overdid it, but his is just almost as bad.
Man, it's so good. And
he's even so like secret agent about it. He walks out of the hotel and goes to the payphone.
The other pay, not the, because again, we saw him use the hotel payphone. This is a different
like across
payphone.
The street.
He asks and he calls her at the bar using her name, which is funny because he's all about the fake name already. It's like, dude, you just let everybody at the bar know who she really is.
They're gonna rat her out now
because the guy who comes up, Mrs. Robinson.
Yeah, this is for you.
Notice though, again, to prove she doesn't care. She didn't even look at she didn't care that the guy just used her name. No. She was just like, yeah, okay.
She's probably been at this hotel before. What are you talking
well, again,
about?
that's what's
the
funny.
Bartender knows her.
Well, that's what's funny. Like Ben in the hotel, you can see him. He again, you watch Dustin Hoffman, and this is one of those small pieces that makes so much sense. You see him eyeball every person that walks past him. If there is movement, he's looking at the person.
Yeah, he's very twitchy.
It's because, again, he's worried about people knowing his parents.
Yeah.
We've seen this. Everybody knows his parents.
Yeah, they own some big business,
and so,
like, so they're well known.
It makes sense. He's just constantly worried, like, are these people going to know who I am?
I'm going to get caught.
Right? And she has not again, she is the affluent person. She's the person they would know.
She would. They would. They'd be like, aren't you one dude's wife?
And she's still just like, what the fuck ever. Right? She's like, I don't care. The phone call sealed the deal, though, because he was like, look, all right, this is how it's going to work. I'm going to go up to the room. You wait about 5 minutes. You follow up after me. And she humors him.
She's
again,
like, okay.
The fact that she didn't start laughing is hardcore. Because, again, for a woman like her who's all business about this, to not immediately start laughing about the way he just said to go do this it's great. Because
she thinks it's cute. She's just like, oh, whatever.
Well, because he even says, like, turn around. Look outside. Do you see me? I'm across the street. And she again doesn't laugh. She turns and looks and just plays it like it's serious. Like, yes, I do. But then again, the uncaringness from her, because as soon as he said that and hung up, she immediately checked and stood up. Like there was no 5 minutes. She was like, I'm going to the room.
Off we go.
I almost expected her to be there
before
waiting,
him, just waiting, smoking a cigarette in the dark.
It feels that way.
What took you so long,
right?
darling?
It feels that way. If this were
that's more Betty Page, right? That's
I don't know.
She would
it was so good though. He nervously gets up to the room. I love the look in the hallway. Like he's literally like eyeballing everywhere, corners around.
It's a good thing there's not like security cameras at this
Opens
point.
up the room, does the same thing, like investigates every corner to make sure nobody's like hiding.
Closing the blinds.
No, some of the blinds was he's trying to set the mood lighting.
Oh, the mood lighting, yeah.
He turned on the real light and he was like, "We're about to do a depraved,
we're about to do the do."
Well, and again, like it's depravity right now, right? Like it's him and a woman that's married. He's
how perverted.
We can't have the big lights on.
No, I don't want to see the
dirty
God
deeds,
might see me.
Right? Like that's how it felt.
Gonna make Jesus cry.
But then he was like, "It's too dark." I love nowadays we would have like.
Or is adjusting like the bathroom light door so it would like cast a shadow and shit.
We would have like at the very least a spinning knob.
Yeah.
But we would have a phone app.
Dimmer switches. Dimmer switches, baby.
This is before we had that. This man said, I got to get the mood lighting. And he starts like getting the blinds and the door cracked just right.
As soon as she walks in, flips the light on, just takes her fucking jacket off, like, we're doing this right.
I love that he immediately ran back and flipped the light off. Because again, the depravity of it all. He couldn't deal with it.
She just smiles about it. She's just like, oh, all right.
She's just, again, she starts.
No, yeah, she's immediately, ready. She's just like, so you want me to like get naked? And he's like, yeah, that'd be nice. What do you want me to do? You can just watch. Oh, okay, thank you.
And he starts to feel a little uncomfortable about it, right? He's already starting to be like...
She takes her shirt off as soon as it comes off. Boop,
hand on boob.
Grabs her titty.
This is one of those scenes where I told you, like, the improv that I'll stop to tell you.
This
was Dustin Hoffman. This man is a genius. He was the one who... I think, actually, the director told him to do the titty grab, and Bancroft didn't know about it.
And she
so
just
the fact that she plays it off...
She doesn't sell it at all.
She didn't even react to it.
How do you not?
And so so like I was saying, he's the one that was like, all right, I'm gonna grab the no, the director told him to grab the boob, and then he grabbed the boob, but he was the one who afterwards, after no
After
reaction,
she doesn't react at all, just keeps like fucking with her fucking shirt.
it was his call to then let go and walk into the wall. Now,
this is the best laugh it got from me. Like this was super funny.
Now, from the notes and the things that I've read, I couldn't tell for sure if they used the very first scene or they just kept the way that everything happened.
Yeah.
Because it kind of read like when they did it the first time, he may have tripped into the wall. Like the head banging,
bashed his face into it.
Like the head banging wasn't necessarily supposed to be it. It was more just like he was gonna like hide in the corner.
Yep, just like oh.
But either way, that is how it happened. Whether this was the first take or they just kept the way the take went.
Either way, it makes it way
perfect.
better.
But so yeah,
it's so funny.
Dustin Hoffman's inspiration was apparently he said he remembered like and again this is it's horrible that we all did weird things like this, but it's a part of growing up. He remembered like those being like a middle school to high schooler and doing that trick in the hallway where you actually bump into a girl.
Accidentally graze the boobie.
And then the girl though turning around to be like call you on it. Like, what did you just I know what you were doing. And like the reaction that a boy would have in that moment.
Oh, I got caught. I'm embarrassed.
And go hide himself away. And so that's what he was trying to mimic. And again, the director just loved it so much that he was like, fuck, that's perfect.
We're leaving the head.
Yeah, that's gotta say.
Because he just walks over in the corner and just
the head
smack.
And then though, I love the shift in him though, right? Like that's the moment he
knocks some sense into him.
Yes, he turns around and he's instantly like, look, maybe we should go on a real date. Like,
yeah, you want to go to a movie
this
or
is
something?
Intense. Like maybe we should talk about things or like I don't know.
Like I don't know. Like what if my parents found out? Like what would they say and shit? And the whole time she's just like, and
she's still just like I don't give a fuck. Why are we even talking about this? I don't understand. Why did you call me?
She calls him out. She's just like, Are you a virgin? Is this your first time?
Dude, the way he got upset. The way I still don't know.
You?
I still don't know.
I think he was. That's why he got so upset.
Right? That's what I'm gonna say. Like, I definitely know that modern movies would only have the character react this way if he hasn't.
Yep.
If he had, he would just have confidently reminded her, "Oh, I've done it." The fact that he instantly was so upset but never said, "I have."
Yeah. Just like, hey, wait a minute. Why would you think that?
That's crazy talk.
What about me that would make you think that I've never done it before? Like the fact that you're getting super upset about it. But she sits there. She's like, look, man, it's okay if you don't feel like you're, adequate to be up to the challenge and shit. And he just goes, oh, bitch. You did not just say that. Hold my fucking beer. Flips the lights off. And he's just like, you ain't going anywhere.
Flip the lights off. Fade to black.
Yep.
Your mind can wander. Whatever you want to think happened in that room, happened in that room. But
he gave her the goddamnedest 30 seconds ever.
It was definitely not good, whatever it was. But it was good enough for her to at least call him back. Because that's where the next thing is
the next montage.
It's long montage.
Our next Simon and Garfunkel song.
Well,
too,
and again,
right?
We don't want to downplay the montage because again,
it's awesome.
Well, the transitions. This is the one where we get some of the fun transitions.
This is why it's a film school.
Yes.
Movie.
This is
these transitions here.
Well, and this one especially, like this is our one where we get again, I hate to keep using the word melancholy, but it's like melancholy summer, right? Like we see that he hates his days, loves his nights,
slides right into the nights with her.
And we see like the first of the best one, the one that me and you both already were like,
where he's like
my
dives
favorite.
into the pool.
Yes, where we see a couple of days where he's just sitting by the pool, and then we see him with her, and then we see the one where he's actually diving into the pool,
up onto the floaty,
and it's
like dolphins up onto it, and then it cuts to he's on top of her.
Dude, perfection,
dude.
And
so
then slides,
good.
and then slides back into the floaty with his dad talking to him. God damn, dude, it's perfect.
Dude, his dad's fucking like pissed at this point because apparently it's been a few weeks. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? You've just been laying around drinking beer. You need to go and do something, make something with your life. Get up off your ass. And I'm like, this is where you should be doing the Feeney speech.
Oh, well, yes. I have to point out, I love that we see the old can. The beer can?
The old can where you had to fucking have a literal can opener to open it?
Dude, I was like, man, I'd love the nostalgia of trying that.
They should do a limited run. Somebody do it. I'd totally buy these.
All right. This is just...
Nope. Am I out of frame?
You're sitting a little taller.
Oops.
That's good.
Slide down a bit.
Well, it's I'm just trying to get both of us to match up a little bit. So I moved and you moved. We're good.
You move. Just
yeah.
like
So at this point, though, he is definitely just going through the motions. The beer was a great touch. The beer, though, also is the tie-in factor through this, because this montage kind of gives us like we don't even know how long into the summer
it goes
it's
through
going.
2 songs.
Yeah, so we don't know how long into the summer it is, but this definitely implies a while. Right? It goes so long that you can tell, he started this stuff with Mrs. Robinson as like his distraction, right?
Yeah.
Like it was his thing. He doesn't know what's going on with his life, and he doesn't want to deal with it.
Yeah,
right?
This is a fun way to just detract
you can
from everything.
See the beer was to show you like the point where it stopped. Like in one montage, we see where it already gets to it not being fun.
Yeah.
Like you see him in the room and he's got the beer and she's just walking in front of him,
past
not
him.
even fucking noticing anymore. And it's like, oh, even this wild, what he thought
crazy fucking thing
has now become mundane
because my dear Penthouse Forum fucking subscription
it can't block away the actual shit that I need to deal with enough, right? Like
now I'm gonna drink beer and do it to try and get it to work.
The perfection of it, right? Like I absolutely adore it. When we finally finish the montage, everything's done. We get the scene with the mom that I addressed earlier.
Where she's like, where the fuck have you been going
hanging out in the slip.
Yes.
Like his mom almost looks like
she's about to seduce him, right? It's all like hanging
yes.
off and shit.
Say what you want about Anne Bancroft, but I'm going to tell you right now, the mom in that scene when she wasn't supposed to be seductive almost pulled off more seductive than Anne Bancroft.
A little bit.
It's crazy.
She's in like a teddy, right? Like she's almost going to her night job as a stripper.
It's weird. But then she does.
Hi, Mom.
You can tell that she knows.
Yeah, something's up.
I think she knows. And she's trying to get him to say it, right? She's trying to be like, look, because think about it. We live in an era now of shows like Desperate Housewives.
Yeah.
What's the chances that those two are best friends because the husbands are working together and she doesn't know that Mrs. Robinson is having an affair
with somebody?
But Mrs. Robinson has definitely said somebody, made up a name, but now
there's enough clues to where she's suspicious.
Now Mrs. Braddock is starting to put fucking shit together. She's like, wait a minute, Ben's always gone.
She's always gone.
And she said it's always at night. Ben's always gone at night.
And
she said she's having and he's...
Are you fucking my son? No, of course not.
And then she goes to her son and it's like, are you fucking my friend?
No.
And
don't get me wrong. I'd like to. Your friends are hot.
And then when he says no, though, she
gets pissed. She's just like, I'd rather you just not say anything if you're gonna lie to me.
To me, that's the line that guarantees she knows, right? Like we can say maybe she knows. That line is the one that's like, no, she knew, and she said that to be like, I know, and I know you're lying to me right now.
Should have done more with it later on.
It's
like a one-off, and I kind of forgot about it. Because I agree.
You barely
does
see
seem
his
that
mom's
way.
face, other than right here, right? Like.
She's blonde, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This and when she reads the fucking yearbook in the beginning, right before they cut away from her.
Super annoying. She's like, "My attention, please."
Those are the only times you see her. So again, I do wish they would have brought it back because I feel like I feel like it was going somewhere, right?
Yeah.
It did scare him though.
Oh yeah,
it scared him enough to have the conversation.
Oh shit.
The only reason he was
caught.
Yes, the only reason the next time we see it's him and Mrs. Robinson together. The only reason we get that conversation, the only reason that we get him wanting to talk to her to make it more was not because he wanted more. It was because his original plan was to try to get her to talk about that, right? Like, have you been
talking to my mom about anything?
But just in the process of it, where she kept trying to be like, we're not doing this.
No,
you got derailed from that line of thinking.
Why are you trying to talk to me? Just give me that dick.
Right?
You know what this is.
Again, she keeps trying to derail him from conversation.
Yeah.
Which literally does derail him from the fact. Again, I feel like the only reason he started trying to talk to her was to be like, hey, by the way.
My mom was being weird yesterday.
Right?
Do you know anything about that?
He never gets there because she just keeps being like, we're not talking. Again, all business.
No, he's even
we're not courting, Ben. Why are you trying to talk to me?
He's like, no, if we want to keep going, we're going to have a conversation. No, let's
I
talk
love
about
how she
something.
drops it. She goes, why don't you tell me about college? And he was like,
no, I don't
we're not
going to
do that.
I don't want to do that. Let's talk about art. I hate art.
Not even art. He's just talking to her and he's like, well, how about you and your college experience? And she's like, okay, all right, I guess we can do that. Well, what was your major? Art. That's where the art comes in. And he's just like, really? I guess you must have gave up on it. I was like, damn, dude, that's a little dick thing to say, man. And she's laying there like, that was why, dude?
Right?
Why
she
did you
turns
feel the
away
need
from
to
him
say
and
that?
shit.
And then he starts asking about the relationship with
her
Mr.
husband.
Robinson, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? You were going kind of the wrong way. Now you're like
just like completely the wrong way.
Like literally, you're on the interstate seeing the wrong way sign. You got a car coming at you.
Keeps asking questions.
At least though, he does get her to a laugh point. She does giggle about the car, right?
Because it was in a Ford.
It was a Ford, and she giggles because she's remembering fun times. What he's stupid about though is if you're having an affair with a woman, the last thing she wants is to remember the good times with the person she's cheating on.
Yeah.
Because that's like a world of reminder.
And she damn sure doesn't want to talk about her daughter.
Well, no, that's what I was going to say. It was already bad because she didn't want to talk about that. And then the conversation, it was wild that the daughter
something
came
about
up.
Like, if you don't tell me, I guess I'll just have to ask out your daughter.
No, it wasn't even ask out. At first, it was just ask. It was something about how they got together because she stopped talking about it, and she was just like, "I'm not. We're done. We're done with this." And he's like, "I guess if you keep this up, I'll just have to ask your daughter about it. Maybe I'll have to be on a date and find." And she was just like, "Dude, she almost burned his eyeball.
If she had a knife, she would have put it through his throat.
She didn't even need the knife, dude. That cigarette was lit. The one that she's holding as she grabs him by the face.
Stab you in the eye, you motherfucker. She yanks his hair back. Yes, everything.
You don't talk about her. You don't think about her. You don't
stay the fuck away from my daughter.
That is a no-go. I don't understand why this offended him.
What? I'm not good enough for your daughter? I'm not good enough I can fuck you, but I can't fuck your daughter? Exactly.
Two things I got to point about the conversation. One, he says that to her. She did indeed say yes.
Yeah.
She tries to downplay it.
She tries to like, no, I didn't.
But she definitely does just say yes. She just tells him, that's right.
Yep. You're not good enough for my daughter.
But in all fairness, it's outrageous for him to be upset about this because what woman wouldn't tell you don't fuck me and my daughter? It's got nothing to do with whether you're good enough.
Yeah.
It's again
you're already banging me. That's weird.
It's weird, dude. It's not that she's trying to say that again, she's just trying not to have the it's weird conversation. She's just saying don't do it.
Yeah. Don't do that.
You're making it weirder by being offended by the fact that she said, don't do that, right? And that's all I felt in the scene.
No, yeah. Dude.
I don't understand his point of view.
I don't either.
I only understand hers. I'm like, no, dude, for real.
Back off. From this point on of the movie, I don't understand.
I'm a guy, and technically they're supposed to be like, guys understand. They're horn dog, I guess. And I'm just standing there like, no, that's weird.
Yeah, that's weird. I can't, vice versa, any way you look at it. I can't bang you if I banged your daughter first.
Right? Maybe we're in the minority. I
guess
don't know.
We're weird. We're weird,
I guess. Shane. But I feel like that was uncomfortable.
The comment section be like, I'd fuck both of them at the same time.
I get, right? Yeah. I don't, it's just not me.
We're better people, I guess.
What I love about this scene, though, is they do talk themselves back down. It takes a minute, right? Like, they get super uncomfortable.
They have, like, a fight, and then they're all apologetic.
And they're apologetic. And then immediately that gets brought back up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're back to okay. They're talking. They're taking their clothes back off. And then, literally, he brings it up again. As he's
unzipping his pants.
He goes... Well, remember, the whole reason this even started is because you said I wasn't good enough for your daughter. And then you implied that maybe I was wrong about thinking that that's what you thought.
Are you determined to fight? Shut the fuck up. We already did this.
Well, and then she even tries to defend it the right way. She's even like, well, again, it's just, it's weird. You shouldn't do it. Like this time she doesn't she's not like, you're not good enough. She says the real words, right? Yeah. She's like, it's weird. You shouldn't do it.
You do realize that we're fucking, right?
And he got offended again? and says,
He wants
maybe
it
we
all.
shouldn't talk.
He wants a 3-way with both of them.
Again, so the first time I can understand, she said hateful
she did flat
shit.
out.
She said it hatefully. This time she explained why it wasn't okay, and he still was just like, no, that's fucked up. You don't want me to fuck your daughter, or you don't want me to date your daughter?
It's messed up.
Dude, get it through your head.
It's like,
you're messed up.
It's like, I know what your dick tastes like, asshole. Of course I don't want you to fuck my daughter.
The very next scene is just the dad being like,
So you gonna ask her out?
You know, she's back now.
She's back now.
I just heard from Mr.
Right
Robinson.
There. Like, look, she's
home.
standing right there too, because they're at the pool.
Yeah,
and shit.
Like, so you think you're gonna do that? I
do
can't.
it.
Well,
do it now.
He's
do it now.
He's telling him, he's like, I can't do that.
I can't
Dad.
do that. Like, kind of like side eyeing Mrs. Robinson. Like, I don't want to do this.
No, because this is the scene that's at their house. Because the mom says, no. How about I just invite all of them over for dinner? Right? This is before the pool. The pool happens right after.
I guess we'll just have to have a party with all of them. That's right.
The pool is when he actually asks her finally. But yeah, the conversation about if he should was at home, because the mom is just like, how about I invite everybody over then?
God damn
and
it,
literally
fine,
he
I
was
guess.
that's why he had the incentive to ask her out. Because he was like, and he's right. Mrs. Robinson wouldn't listen to him when he tried to explain, but he is right.
Because
if
when he
the
goes
options
to pick her up,
were
just take her out for a drink, bring her home,
and bring her home, or all of us sit down to dinner together and have a date.
What are we supposed to do? Like, you're gonna play footsie with me under the table?
We're having
Mrs.
a
Robinson?
We're essentially having a triple date for dinner. My parents, you and your husband, and me and your daughter. Again, he was right. The right call was to have a singular date.
I don't know about you, but I don't want to be part of that fucked up edible orgy. Do you?
No. But yeah, so when he showed up, he did try to tell her, look, I didn't want to do this.
It's my parents' idea.
But this is a better play.
Yeah.
And she said, I don't want to hear it.
I am upset.
She did not let him. If she would have let him finish, I feel like she might have agreed.
Yeah.
That dinner was the worst call.
Yeah. For real.
Family dinner.
It's the worst way to fucking do this. Just let me take the bitch out for a beer and then bring her home.
But she did not want to hear it. She didn't hear it.
She's very neurotic. She did tell us in the beginning of the movie.
And so she says, fuck, you do what you're doing, but I'm telling you right now, I am pissed. I fucking hate it.
I'm so upset. And he's like, all right, fine, whatever. And they go on the...
Well, Elaine comes downstairs. Like, he was going to talk more, but she's there.
She's
He's
there.
just like, okay, well, I guess
I guess we're going.
Let's go out.
Takes her on the worst first date
on
ever.
Purpose. He was doing it again.
I know.
That's my
God
point.
damn, man. You went hard.
But that's what I'm saying. If Mrs. Robinson would have listened...
He probably would have told him the whole... I'm going to take her to a titty bar. She's going to hate me.
Right? But she wouldn't listen. Well, again... It starts before the titty bar.
He's driving like an asshole.
He's driving like an asshole. He parks in the worst spot to have to walk through the worst part of town to get to a shitty...
She's like pushing people off of her as she's going.
Again, all of it's bad. Here's the thing, though, I'll say. He busts through that whole line like he's somebody. And I was like, look, dude, that part still made you look cool. Maybe you should have waited in line if you wanted this to look like the worst date ever.
Yeah, you kind of walked in like you owned the fucking place.
Sunglasses on.
Sunglasses, just like kicked the door in. Like, hey, what's up, Tony?
Like, to me, that's what I said.
I would sit down at the front of the stage.
I was like, until you see that it's a burlesque show, you are like, dude, you just look like Joe Cool now.
Yeah, right?
Like,
just
you
like
don't
pimp
look,
walking through the street.
Right? Like, it's not until you notice that it's the burlesque theater that you're like, oh, that's why it's not a good date. But when he just like cuts through line with the fucking sunglasses, like, no, she's gonna be like, dude, this guy's the shit. Yes, dude.
Ain't nobody gonna fuck with him.
But then we see, dude, it was...
I would have cried.
I felt every bit.
I would have cried.
Like, I felt so bad for Elaine.
Dude, no, I was like, I get why he finally broke and was like, all right, I went too fucking far. I'm sorry.
Well, because the stripper made it worse.
If the stripper hadn't have come and started jiggling her titty fans over her fucking head.
That was
damn it.
Yeah, dude, it was bad. And again, real tears. Elaine is distraught.
Yeah.
Runs out of the place. He sees the tears. He sees her run. He knows, damn, okay, my plan worked too good.
It's okay. He kisses it better.
That was the thing, dude.
Magic.
Why was that? Why was
magic? Doesn't explain. He's like, I'm not usually like this.
Why was that his thought?
All better.
Why was that the thought?
I don't know.
Well, again, we know that then the point here is supposed to be he is starting to see the things in her that he can't get from her mom, which is so fucked up.
And they do look very similar. The casting is great. Like,
'Cause-
I could totally believe that they are mother and daughter.
Right now, he's seeing vulnerability from her. He doesn't get that from the mom.
Fuck no,
he
she
goes
is such
out.
a fucking
The
vicious
next
bitch.
step, the next step of the date is that we see they're literally talking to each other. The one thing he's
You can't get
constantly
from her.
wanted from Mrs. Robinson, and she shoots him down every time.
To the point where he doesn't even want her to go home. He's like, "Can we go do something else?" And
No, they
go to like the
they
dope
get to her
fucking
house. Dude.
drive-in.
I love that. Like, that's how dumb the
Yeah.
date was. They pull up to the house, and he's like,
She even tries to get him to go inside, and he's like, "No,
No.
I like talking to you."
well, and the reason he didn't want to go inside.
also true.
Yeah. There's two reasons he didn't want to go
If
inside.
it hadn't have been for Mom, he might have gone.
I feel like that's the extra fucking screw to Miss. You know she was awake,
Yeah.
right? You know she knew that
She
they
was
showed
watching
up.
through the window. They
and
didn't
then
show
left
it.
again.
Because they pan up to the house. I was
Like
expecting
I expected a light to turn off or
something,
something. Nothing.
curtain
Yeah.
move, nothing. But I was like,
But
she's
you
just sitting
know.
in the
Yeah,
dark,
you
just
know.
watch,
You know that
smoking her fucking cigarette, all pissed off.
But yeah. So again, I did also think though when she invited him upstairs, I was like, did she learn all the mom's tricks?
Oh yeah,
the,
dude.
The do you want to go in trick? It was
It was almost the same thing.
the same way, the same kind of like head nod towards the house. Like I was just like,
I can make you some coffee.
I was just like, damn, dude, she knows the tricks. She learned the tricks. But yeah, then they go. He's like, no, let's go somewhere else. Let's
go get a burger.
No, the burger happened first.
Oh, did it?
They left the bar, went to the burger. That's why you kept being like the second.
I thought it was the other way around.
The second part of the date's when they go to the bar that he should never have gone to.
where she's like, let's go to this bar at the hotel, and he almost crashes the fucking car
because she was like, what was that?
What the hell? He's like, I was just got
Sorry.
excited.
And they get to the bar, and what happens? Exactly
Hi,
what you
Mr.
would
Gladstone.
expect. Everybody,
Hey, Mr. Gladstone. What are you doing? Hey, how you doing?
And he's like,
do these people know you?
He's
What
like,
the fuck?
maybe, let's just go somewhere else. We don't need to do this.
Why'd
Let's
you
just...
even go? You
I
knew
know
it was
he
a
should
bad
have turned.
idea.
He should have said anything on the way there to stop it. Right?
There's other bars in this town, man.
No, he doesn't think it. But again, this was that callback I mentioned
Yeah, the
earlier
old
too.
lady
Right
on the
before
way
he
out.
gets, he's literally got
He's
her
pushing her out the door, like, yeah, let's get the fuck out.
And the lady says, "Oh, Mr. Braniff," and the look, because it was a second weird name. She was just like, "That's too much."
What the fuck? And they get back in the car, and she's just like,
instantly.
Are you having an affair with somebody?
And I'll give him kudos.
He does fess up to it,
to most of it.
kind of.
He fesses up to most
And
of it.
she-
Everything but the most important detail
Of,
for
like, it
Elaine to
being
know.
her mom.
Yeah.
She even asked, "Is it over?"
No. Well, he answers, well, technically it wasn't.
It's just to him at that very moment.
I know. Well,
it
he's
was
made
done.
he's
already made
his
his decision.
Elaine's
I
the
just
winner.
haven't informed the other party.
Right,
yet.
that's what it really is. But yeah, so he does though. He tells her it is with an older woman, that she's married. She has a son.
Yeah, that was a nice cover.
I was like,
Good job,
oh, really?
man.
Good job.
Yeah.
Right? Like, okay.
You could have just
okay.
been like, she's married, and left it at that.
But yeah, so he is definitely trying to play it off. He does say it's over.
Yeah.
It was not over.
No.
And we all know that it was
Maybe you
not
should have
over.
told Mrs. Robinson that before you
before
roll
you thought,
up the next fucking day.
Before you thought that this was a good idea.
She's gonna like roll up to their house the next day, gonna pick Elaine up, have a nice
Well,
little drive.
Here's the thing. I don't even know if it's supposed to be actually the next day, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
the movie does a lot of these transitions where you're like, again, like from the end of that first existential crisis with Mrs. Robinson to when we see it's his 21st. I don't think his 21st birthday was the next day.
No.
And so I don't know if this is supposed to be the next day. I almost actually feel like it's more stinging because it's not. It's that they've seen each other several times.
Yeah.
And now he's going to pick her up for
Again.
a full day trip.
This is why Mrs. Robinson just
Is
jumps
super-
in his fucking
Well, because
car.
she's like, again, if it had just been one date and now you're coming back, and again, at that point she still might be. She doesn't. If it's one day, it's the next day. She doesn't know if her daughter had a good time, bad time. She doesn't.
She could
know,
have just heard about the titty bar.
right. So this is what that's why I'm saying, like, I feel like it was definitely supposed to be like,
he's going to pick her up for like he does have a bunch of shit. It might be the third date.
I'm telling you, I feel like it's far enough along that Mrs. Robinson
He's got like
right?
chocolates and
Well, and the
flowers
kind of
all this
anger
shit.
she
Oh,
has.
she's so pissed.
Makes me feel like she's been hearing her daughter talk about
Gush.
this. Yeah.
He's so cute. He's so sweet. Oh my
But
God.
she gets in that car, dude.
We have such deep conversations, and I feel like he really gets me.
Look, when she gets in that car, I felt for his
I
life.
thought she was gonna shoot him or something.
I felt for his life.
Drive to the end of the street where no one can see me blow your
She's
fucking
soaking
head
wet
off.
again. Like the way they do these scenes to make you understand like how
So
she must
was
feel,
just
right?
standing
So
in
like
her
again,
yard.
like for before when she showed up to have the no makeup, we know like she left. She was in raw passion,
Yeah.
like in a hurry. The fact that she's soaking wet right now,
she
the
was
fact that she was
standing
standing in the rain waiting for him to show up. That's the only way she'd have been as wet as she
mascara
was.
running.
Right?
She didn't give a fuck.
The dedication, the anger, the
you
intensity.
will not date my daughter. You will not see her again, or I'll make shit very difficult.
What are
for
you gonna do, Mrs. Robinson?
I'll tell her everything. You're not gonna do that. I'll do it first.
You don't know. Well, no. The fact that before he darts out of the car, she was like, "You don't know what you should call me on," or
Right,
whatever that
don't
line
test
was.
me.
Yeah, dude, I was like, "Fuck, god damn!"
I'm waiting
The fact
for
that
the
he
knife,
tests her,
the knife to her fucking throat.
the fact that he tests her after she says that
Yeah.
way, I was like, "Dude, you're fucking ballsy."
He gets out of the car and she's just like, "Fuck, he called my bluff. Come back here."
Well, he bolts to the house. He's now soaking wet. Runs up to Elaine. I want to say this was so awkward. He runs in, door is open. We've seen her room is at the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
Literally straight view
straight, right
from
from
the
the
stairs. She's naked.
Yeah.
And she's giggling. I was like, dude,
Oh my
she
God,
thinks her
I'm
mom
not
is
dressed.
She thinks her mom is home. The door is open. I don't think that's
my kind of boyfriend just bolts into
I
my
d-
room when I'm naked.
I don't think that's the reaction.
and
she was
starts
gonna have.
trying to like shut the fucking door on me. No, she flipped out. Help! I'm being assaulted.
Yes, again, it was so crazy. But then he looks down and he sees her. Dude, the fucking crazy look in her face as she's standing at the bottom of the
nuts
stairs,
looking.
soaking wet, and she starts fucking menacingly stomping up. I was like, oh goddamn! I don't blame him for not knowing what to do and doing what he did.
But he's like, you remember the older woman I was
This was
involved with?
the emotion right here. Because he
from
doesn't tell her.
Yeah,
he
it's
does
just
not.
all done with looks.
He says almost everything. He gets to he's like, well, I gotta tell you. And he looks out, sees her in the hallway. You see the sadness finally. You know
Yeah.
that she was bluffing, right? Like that's the moment where you know she was never getting to the top of the stairs.
She was not gonna tell.
He did this because he thought she was, and that was never what was gonna happen,
Nope.
right? You can see it on her face. And when he's looking at her, Elaine's like, what are you looking at?
Turns around and looks at her mom, and she's just like, "Oh fuck."
And
he
he says to her, "Don't cry."
Fuck
That bitch,
you.
that bitch is fucking angry. There was no there wasn't gonna be a tear.
There's no "don't cry." There's
don't
hit
kill me, right? Like, dude, she fucking lost, and rightfully so. I'm not trying to say.
oh yeah, no, get the fuck
that's
out.
a fucked up situation
It
to
is.
find out about. That's some
You're
Jerry
fucking
Springer.
my mom. Get
Yeah.
the hell out of here.
I mean, that's literally like 35 episodes of Jerry Springer.
yes,
guys.
it is. Oh my god.
So we get it. It's fucked up. And then the extra knife to the fucking heart, right? He walks into the hallway and Mrs. Robinson looks at him. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
To let him know she
I
was
wasn't
never
gonna do it.
I
It's such
know
a-
what I said, but I was
it's
never gonna do it.
Such a good shot because it goes from like a close up on her, and then it just pans out, and she's
Dude.
at the other end of the hallway, and it's an over the shoulder shot, and
It's
she's
so good.
super far away, like
so good.
it's like she's disappearing from his life almost. One of those super artsy answers. Fucking love this movie. just for the way it's shot, the plot's whatever, and it's kind of funny, but the way it's filmed is so good. Ben gets kicked out, runs the fuck away, and then we get the montage of him fucking stalking Elaine from this point on.
Well, we got a few things we need to talk about before the stalking, because the stalking doesn't happen until after the weird conversation with his parents.
Oh,
Right? Like he goes home. He's again depressed for a while.
Yeah.
We see a couple of the weird
I'm so sad.
yeah. But then he has
Sad boy emoji.
He wakes up and he's okay. He's
made
driven. Dude.
He's made a decision.
He's clean. He looks. His parents
shaved.
His parents
Look
are like,
great.
"What's going on? You've not looked like this in ages." And he's like, I'm gonna
gonna
no, he doesn't even-
marry
yes,
Elaine
exactly.
Robinson.
I was about to say,
I have
thank you.
decided.
He doesn't even ask. He doesn't say I'm gonna ask her. He says I'm gonna marry.
gonna
And
happen.
So they assumed
His
he
mom
had asked.
Yeah, his mom is super excited. She does that like
When's it
wild
gonna be?
scream
Yeah, like when's
thing.
it gonna be?
Dad's about to get on the phone with Mr. Robinson. They're gonna start planning shit, and he's like, "Oh, I haven't
asked her.
I haven't told her about it yet. She doesn't know we're getting married."
Then
Her dad's
then
like,
why? No, he's like then why is that what you think? Well, I've decided it.
I've decided it. That's what's gonna happen. He's like, that's
regardless of what she
again,
knows.
perfect opportunity for another Feeney speech.
Oh, dude,
about life and everything.
But at this point, I get it because you'd be dumbfounded. You would be
Yeah,
like, I don't
what
even,
the fuck do you even
I don't
say?
know what to say to that.
No, you're not.
Now is the first time where we start to see the downgrading of the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah,
because he is now driving it like not cross country, but it's definitely supposed to be a
good
fuckload of
distance.
miles.
He's driving it to Berkeley.
Yeah, and so he is driving this thing. Still looks good right now.
Yeah,
It looks
it's
good.
a little dusty.
Yeah, well, it's because he's
It's-
not been driving
It's not
it.
been, yeah. He hasn't washed it.
But it looks, I mean, again, it's in good shape. It slowly
Still sounds
yeah.
nice when he's driving it.
But it gets worse and worse. He gets to Berkeley, though. Before he makes the decision, you think he's just gonna talk to her, right? Like he sees her at the fountain. He's at the fountain.
That's a great shot. It's another good one where he's just walking and then it just zooms out from the crane shot, and now the crowd comes in.
Dude. But yeah, so he's just sitting there and he waits and he knows he turns around again. Did he know her brand new schedule? Like, how weird is it that he knew when to stand up and turn around to wait for her?
My headcanon. This is his 4th day. And he has just scouted the shit out of this.
It's definitely not, because that's why we see him run off to the boarding house.
Yeah.
Like, we think he's even going to talk to her. Like, he stands up until the minute you see him pass by where she was. I was like, oh,
okay.
What?
You are stalking her. That's not creepy at all.
Well, again, it's not stalking yet. After getting the room, then it's hardcore stalking, because the
bus.
Yes, no. Well, before the bus, dude. Like, so the first time, it's the first day, right? Like we assume he gets a boarding room. All right, stalker-ish.
It's confirmed. He's seen her. She's here.
Stalker-ish. But then we see him again waiting from the same spot, then sitting close to a phone booth, then over here, then the bus. Like I said, like there's a moment where it literally is just like,
progresses.
In case you didn't think this was stalking, we want to make sure you know
this was a
is
romantic comedy, right?
I don't even know if that's what it would be labeled
This was supposed to be romantic, I thought.
But so he's running after the bus.
She sees him too, and
She
is like,
no,
fuck.
and she
Oh my
pretends like
God.
she doesn't. And I love this. She pretends like she doesn't. She just keeps looking forward, but he catches the bus, and she's just like dumbfounded, like fuck.
God damn, he seriously sprinted to another bus stop just to catch me.
Where are you going?
I'm going to the zoo.
I'll just ride with you.
Because I'm going to meet my new boyfriend, asshole.
Well, it'd be nice if that's what she said. She didn't say that. She said okay. She did. She
I
chose
know.
the words okay. She said it's
She should have been looking at the lady next to her like, can you help?
The guy seemed worried. I think he also would have been okay.
Yeah, the guy that he was sitting next to.
Everybody, I think, would have helped her in this situation.
I know, right?
They were all kind of
say
like,
something.
this is not okay. It was too much. When he gets to the zoo with her, though, he starts to find out what was going on, right? Because he's still she says, I'm meeting a guy. He doesn't assume a date yet. He's still kind of just like, all right.
Who is he?
Yeah. What? Tell me more about
Where's he supposed to meet you? I thought he was supposed to meet you at the Monkeys. Hey, guy. When he finally gets there, you were supposed to meet us at the Monkeys. Why didn't you meet us at the Monkeys?
She's like, this is this guy.
Don't
he
worry.
rode here on the bus with me.
Kind of followed me. Don't worry about it.
They walk off.
Sound of Silence again. It's kind of it's Scarborough Fair playing at this point.
Yep.
It's kind of becoming a stalker song at this point.
At this point, though, once he's finished with all that, he literally is defeated, doesn't know what to do, right?
He's so sad.
But he knows he can't leave yet.
No.
So he just
stays.
He goes back to his room.
And
she shows up there. Did we miss the part of the conversation where she found out?
I don't know.
Because that was weird, right?
Because he's been there for like a day or so.
Well, again, this is that time.
Yeah, it's time shit. But there's no way she would know where the fuck he's at.
Yeah, we didn't. If there was a conversation about that, we definitely
Does
didn't.
Carl
see it.
live in the same building? You think?
No way. He's a frat dude.
Oh yeah, that's right. He has his own building later on.
Yeah.
That's right.
So again, I don't.
She does. She shows up at his fucking apartment, just like, why the fuck are you here?
Let me tell you.
Is it because of me?
Well, and she says, "Let me tell you what my mom said."
I know, right? What a bitch!
That is some wild shit.
I
don't
accuses
care.
him of
The word we won't say.
the word starts with an R.
And that is not what happened.
No, that's not what all. She fucking hunted him down. She might as well have tranquilized him and drug him back to her den.
Yes. To paraphrase Law and Order SVU, that is a heinous act that you should not be you should not be accusing someone of, right? Like
Nice.
This is not the kind of thing you just willy-nilly throw around about somebody, especially
No.
because you're embarrassed about your own
Yeah, it's
behavior in the
not-
situation.
You got a little slutty. It's okay.
This is the point, though, that we can assume that, because earlier you almost get the vibe that maybe Elaine knows her mom has affairs.
Yeah.
This is a point
And this
where
is like the last straw because
But-
she liked this one.
But you know, this is like the fact that she believed this
story.
lets you know that she doesn't. Because if she knew about affairs, she would hear the story and be like,
Bullshit,
I see through you, Mom.
Bullshit.
The fact that that's not what happened lets you know that if there had been previous affairs, she definitely didn't know.
No.
Right? He then proceeds to start to tell her, like, bitch,
This is how it actually happened.
your mom's crazy.
She took me into your room, stripped
She
down
starts-
bare ass, starts flashing her titties,
The-
saying, you want to fuck? We can fuck anytime.
Okay. The scream that comes out of Elaine.
I know. You thought she
This
was
is
being
crazy.
murdered. Props on these guys for showing up to help.
Everybody in the place, including our man Richard Dreyfuss.
Mr. Roper's not having this bullshit.
Nobody's having it, dude. Again, I'll call the cops. I'll call the cops.
It's okay. It's fine. Even opens the door and shows her
No,
like
that
sitting
was
there.
my favorite part because she even she realized how bad of a situation
looked.
she just
Smiles.
goes.
See, I'm fine.
It was so funny. It was so good. Mr. Roper's like, I
want you out of here.
I'm gonna be okay right now.
Right? Like you can
but know
sleep,
that
but
there's a problem.
Tomorrow I want
Yeah.
you fucking gone.
This is not okay. We need to fix this, okay, dude? Like we shouldn't have screaming women up in my fucking
No,
building.
it's not okay. So you need to get the fuck out. And he's just like, okay. And he starts like packing.
Now they calmly have a conversation, right? Now
Yeah.
she's like, so
you didn't do that to my mom, and you do like me. And he's like,
he professes.
I just kind of got kicked out of my apartment, but yeah, I do love you. I don't want to talk about this right now.
Well, again, you're jumping the gun. He's not kicked out yet. The kick out comes after, because remember, he still lives there when Dad shows up.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Again, the dude's just mad. He doesn't kick him out yet. He's just like,
I don't like you, and I don't
yeah,
want
yeah,
you
yeah.
here.
But he's not. He still wants his money, so he's not kicked him out yet.
You're paid up for this week.
Well, the main reason I have to make sure we have to go back there. But the other reason is because even when she comes back for the Night Stalker kiss, it's in this apartment.
Yeah.
Which is not this night. It's a different. So I just want to make sure we
They
don't
need
jump
to
the
do
gun.
a better job. My only complaint of this movie, they need to do a better job of like time flow. How much time has happened in between each scene?
Before she leaves this night, though, she starts talking to him, and she's like, "Well, what are we gonna do now? I mean, what's the plan?" And he's just like, "I don't understand. I mean, I'm here." And
This is as far as my plan went.
but it wasn't, because remember when he first started talking to her, he said, "I came here with a definite plan," and she throws that back at him. She storms out of his place. I thought you told me you had a definite plan.
Yep, and you're not allowed to leave until you do.
Well, she didn't even she just says the definite plan and she storms out. And it's, again, for her, she doesn't even know, because she doesn't know. It's supposed to be, that's one of those few times where it's literally a line for us as the person that's watching.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be her saying, hey, you guys that know what's going on, this is his moment to wake up, because he knows that he came here and he knows the plan was to propose.
You know what the fuck you're supposed to be doing right now. Just do it.
This was the reminder. Fucking do it.
Jackass. You need Red from that 70s show. Come in there calling a jackass.
After this is give me a second.
I think this is like he's asleep and she comes back in the middle of the night.
Yep.
She just kicks his fucking door in. Is like, kiss me.
He
Oh,
just says,
okay.
cool.
I
guess.
And then yawns in the middle of it, like, "Oh, are we gonna get married? I guess.
Well,
I don't
again,
know.
That's the
Maybe.
thing. The one
Sure. No.
Well, the one conversation ended with the definite plan.
Yeah.
That was the reminder. He got woke up. He throws out the definite
That's my plan.
And she's still just like,
Meh. I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see. Let's see what's happening. And then, like, next day, he's just like, so we're gonna get married, right?
Well, I don't know.
If we're gonna get married, we should go get these blood tests.
Well, first it was
stuff.
we'll both need to get our brother's birth certificates. I understand that. That's for me and you understand.
Yeah.
That's the marriage license.
What was
Why
the blood test for?
Are they
Was that a thing back then?
Are they so filthy rich they were making sure genetics?
They were cousins,
right? Are they they're into eugenics? They're
Yeah.
trying to like well, I don't think it's cut. They're trying to make sure they make a superior eugenics. Yeah, dude. Because that's what rich people used to do, right?
Easy, Heil.
Well, I'm not going that far. Eugenics
We shall make the Ubermensch.
Eugenics had
Immediate
a connection
demonetization,
to it. Yeah,
right?
That will probably not stay in things that might go to YouTube. Patreon people.
Enjoy that joke.
But so yeah, this was one of those things where
I have that in my notes. I was like, what's with the blood test? Was that just a thing?
Well, I do appreciate this conversation though, how funny it was where it goes all the way up to the door of the classroom.
And the bell rings.
He's
He's just still standing there and the class is over and she opens the door.
And they both
Just
both take
continue the conversation like it never happened.
That's the one time where I was like, okay, so the movie does want me to feel like they should be together, because the fact that they did that they were both still into the like, she didn't come out.
She
mad
wasn't
at
like,
him.
what the fuck are you doing?
She wasn't angry. She expected him to be there.
Like, oh yes,
and expected
there you
to finish
are.
the conversation from the place they stopped.
It's like she hit pause on him.
It was, dude.
It was like,
and they were both good with it.
Just stand here.
But while they keep having this conversation, we do finally end up finding out she's not sure if they can do that.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't this when she breaks
Yeah,
the
she's
news
like,
to him?
I mean, like, I don't know if I can. And even if we do, I gotta go talk to Carl. He's like, why? Well, I kind of said I might marry him too.
And this was so funny because he goes, wait, you gotta, like, he wasn't
How?
even,
He's not even mad. He just wants to know how he did it. He's like, did he get down on one knee?
Was it in a Ford?
Was it in a Ford?
I was like, dude, that's fucked up, because she
doesn't know about that.
She
dude.
might not get the reference, dude.
He did it just to make himself laugh.
It was.
That was all it was.
But then I appreciate what she tells us, because when she tells us this, I was like, bitch, that's not a proposal.
Yeah.
She says, well, he just looked at me and said, I think we'd make a really great team.
Slap the ring on it. Let's go.
Why was that a proposal? Did you not feel like that was a
Women back in the 60s didn't expect much.
Well, here's the, like, even Ben was like,
really?
Okay, good on you. That was a great line.
That was a great one.
What?
Like, I think mine was
understand.
better, and it was kind of psychotic.
It was so funny. Though when it's all said and done, this is when we start to see he's winning. Right?
Yeah.
Like, this is when after that conversation, they leave, they have their little like cutesy look at each other, and you're like, oh, Ben's got this.
Even has a little kiss.
Well, again, for this to be after the bad shit
I
news has come
know.
out, it definitely means something, right?
He's winning at this point.
Yeah.
He even
gets home.
Goes and buys a ring even, and
Oh,
then
he
goes home.
buys everything. It's a ring. There's like clothes.
Oh, yeah, that's
or
right.
What, like,
he's got a whole package of shit.
Yeah. He's ready to seal the deal. When he gets home, though, who's waiting for him?
Mr. Robinson. Fuck, they found me.
Man. Well, no, the first time it was Mrs. Robinson, wasn't it?
No, that's after Mr. Robinson tells him that you're not allowed to be around her and I've already taken care of everything.
Okay.
So he drives off, breaks into their house, and she's like, hey, you're too late and I'm going to call the cops.
Okay. I've got Mrs. Robinson wrote down. I don't know why. Between he's winning her over and he got a ring.
The song plays in the middle of
that's
this.
why. That's why. Because that's when
that's when the actual Mrs.
we
Robinson
still have to address
song.
that one.
I
I was
forgot.
going to say, I was like, we have to address that.
Because he's winning, right?
Yeah.
And the Miz like, here's to you.
Well, but that's
Mrs.
actually kind of what makes
Robinson.
the song weird for the winning.
Right? And it's just like the whistly part in the beginning.
I'm glad
it's
that
not
you
even the chorus.
I'm not even mad that you didn't have that in your notes. I'm just glad that you remembered, because I was really starting to struggle with my own notes. Like, why did I type that? Just those words. I should have wrote songs. That way I knew. I'm stupid.
It's okay. We got it.
We did. It's good. Again. But yeah, you're right. When he gets home as Mr. Robinson, and that is what I have. That's what I have. That's why I was so confused about the other one. I was like, I don't understand. Mr. Robinson, again, much like the car scene with Mrs. Robinson, though, I expected a weapon.
I did too, dude. I was like, this is how you die. Like real life, this entire movie ends in murder suicide, right?
It ends in something. Right,
somebody dies real life in this movie.
Well, and then he starts talking to him with some real weird depravity. And again, until he actually admits that they're over, which is a little bit into the conversation, I almost felt like he knew. And again, this goes back to how the conversations always almost felt like it wasn't a problem.
Like he's almost like you feel like he's gonna be okay with it for a second.
Yes.
And then it turns
and then it turns quick, because it doesn't just turn into, I think he might get injured. It turns into, oh no, I think he's just gonna make Ben watch him off himself, right? Like
I'm gonna you're gonna stand there. I'm gonna shoot myself,
right, or something,
because you ruined my fucking life. You mother.
The conversation is pretty.
If Tarantino directed this movie, that's exactly how it ends.
But yeah, he does though. He tells him, he's like, "Look, I can't. You need to stop this. I can't believe you have such a problem with me that you would do something like this. I don't have a problem with you. Well, obviously you don't respect me."
Yeah. I mean, I really don't.
I was like,
at least he was honest.
I was like, fuck me, man.
He didn't hold back. He's like, yeah, no, I don't, I guess.
Then he tells him, look, just so that way you fucking know, me and my wife are getting a divorce. Dude, instantly.
Why?
Well, no, the why, but then that is immediately followed up with I mean, I don't care about your wife, though.
Yeah. What about
dude, the look on Mr. Robinson's face before he could even say, it's your daughter I love, like just the instant of, I don't care about your wife. He was just like,
did you see the blood vessel?
Yeah, he was just like,
in his eye?
Oh, so you just fucked my life
for no reason?
Because you don't care.
Because you don't give a fuck?
Okay. And then he mentioned the daughter. And dude, the synchronicity
like
between
the 0 to 1, the 60.
Well, again, like between him and Mrs. Robinson, the first time her name comes out of his mouth to either of them, the instantaneous, you shut your fucking mouth. You keep my daughter's mouth the fuck out of your name out of your mouth.
Smith meme.
Yes, dude. It's intense, right? Like it's so crazy. And again, though, you can see it on his face.
Yeah.
Just like everything else, just like I mentioned in the beginning, many rebellions, someone told him not to do something, regardless of whether he actually cared or not.
Yep.
This drove him even harder.
It's like, well, now I'm gonna really do it.
Right?
I like when Mr. Robinson's leaving, he's going out the door, he's just like, you're scum. You're filth. You're a degenerate. Walks past Mr. Roper, and fucking Roper's just looking at him like, what now? What the fuck have you done now?
Now's when you were ready.
This is where it is.
This is when he throws.
Get the fuck out of here.
But sir,
give me can I have some change for the phone? I'll give you $10 for a dime.
House, right, dude? Yeah, done.
You're about to throw him over the fucking banister.
Yep. Once he leaves, though, he goes to try to find Elaine.
So he goes to the mom and dad's house, Mrs. Robinson.
No. Before that, he tries to find her at school.
That's right.
Normal day. He doesn't know there's a problem yet. Right now,
the roommate brings him the letter.
Yes, I was about to say, dude, don't jump.
Fuck, I keep trying to jump.
I'm like, well, again, normally I wouldn't care, but this time it's kind of important.
Yeah, it is.
Because right now he thought everything was still normal. He didn't know that she gave up because of the dad showing up. Yep. Right? Like he was like, I'm winning. I got a ring.
Yeah, he was about. All I gotta do is get to her before he does.
Now, as though when he found out,
it's too late.
Yeah, well, because Dad probably called before.
Oh, he did that first before he went to his house.
Well, before he even got to it's a long drive. That's why the car keeps getting fucked up. It's a long drive from wherever they live to Berkeley. So
they live in Ohio.
Time.
They just didn't say anything.
No, it's definitely California, but I think California's a long state. It can take hours and hours to drive some of those places.
Europe.
So it takes him too long, and he's just like, okay, well, I guess I got to figure out where she's at. That's when he's like, fuck fuck me, I'm gonna have to go, and speeds because he's like, I know exactly where she might be. Her home? Her home.
Why? Why would you think she would have went there?
I don't know. It was a crazy thought, right? He gets there, Mrs. Robinson immediately. God damn, dude. The way this bitch's switch has flipped.
I know. It's like, you used to like me, remember?
But she didn't. That's the thing I want to remind you.
Oh, that's right.
It's all business.
You never actually liked me.
This was courting. This was not courting.
even
Sorry,
a
this was not
little.
courting. This was only...
Not even a little bit. Didn't like me. Just a smidge.
Right? So now that their business is done...
Your dick is useless to me now.
Essentially-
Burn for it.
Tell me, putting it through that lens in your head, does it not make all of her actions actually make sense? They're still crazy, but they make sense. You at least understand her motivation.
Yep, that's true.
But yeah, she does. She's like, I'm gonna call the cops. You're fucking get the fuck out of my
I like
house.
when
I'm
she
gonna call
calls
the cops.
She's just like,
The thing she
she's
says,
just like, is he armed? I don't know. I'll ask him.
"Are you armed?"
No, I don't think so. Yes, well, thank you. I'll be here.
They start talking. It's less than 30 seconds into their conversation when the cops pull up, or
Yeah.
whatever the sound actually was.
Like tires screeching
We
or
don't
whatever.
get to know for sure, but we can assume it was
I got my notes. I was like, man, he escaped them cops pretty fucking easy, didn't
easily,
he?
right?
Just
well, because he
no
he
problem.
probably left again. Like once they get there,
dove off
she's
the balcony.
well, no. Once they get there, she's less likely to actually say that.
Yeah.
That is still her husband's business. Again, as far as we know, business is business. Business
Yeah.
hasn't changed.
She's like, he left.
Yeah. But so yeah, he does though. He leaves, and again, he's like, okay, well, if she wasn't there, I know where she's at. Why he keeps doing this, I don't fucking understand. Right?
Why would she be in a frat house?
Well, because at this point he wasn't actually trying to find her, but he knew how to find her.
Yeah,
which
got to
was
figure out
through
where
guy.
the wedding is.
Well, he still didn't know wedding, right? She didn't mention. Mrs. Robinson
thought
didn't
she
mention.
did.
No,
Oh.
she just said you'll never.
Oh, you'll never be
figure
able
it
to
out."
stop it.
Yeah. He gets there and they're the ones that they are like, he's like, do you know where he's at? And they're like, oh, he left in the middle of the night for a wedding. Shotgun style.
Yeah, bar at the end of the shotgun.
That's officially the moment that he knew it was a wedding, was when the frat guys started throwing
Plays it off
wedding
quick.
around.
He's just like, I'm his brother-in-law. I'm supposed to be there or some bullshit. So they tell him where the fuck it's at. It's in Santa
No.
Barbara.
The brother-in-law doesn't come until the phone call. When he calls when he's in Santa Barbara. He just is there and he's just like, "Oh, I'm a friend of the family. I just didn't know where the wedding was. You guys happen to know?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, I think it's at his dad's."
That
Or-
doesn't help me any.
Or I don't know, but it's definitely going to be in Santa Barbara. And then he drives to Santa
That
Barbara.
helps me.
So the part you were thinking about with the brother-in-law is when he
Is
gets
it the
to Santa-
gas station?
Yes, he gets to the gas station. The phone call when he calls the dad's phone well, it was supposed to be the
Yeah.
dad's house, but it's the dad's messaging service is what he gets. They're like, well, he's got to be at his son's wedding this morning, and he's like, oh, well that's where I need to be. I'm his
supposed to be there.
brother-in-law. I'm the priest. I'm supposed to be performing the wedding for my brother.
Help me out here. Where the fuck is it? And they're like, oh, well, it could be here or here, but you're probably more than likely going to want to try here.
This
Some
is
church.
Well, this is the part where I have to stop because where I had to keep slowing you down because you were wanting to go too far. This is where we know how bad he's fucked the car up.
Yes.
Because at this point, you jumped so fast I had to slow you down. You forgot to mention that every time we saw that. So when he went to her place the first time, they were both in Berkeley.
Yeah.
Then he drove the obscene mileage trip we see it is back
We'll call it
home.
200 miles just for fun.
And well, I'd say it's probably more than that because that's only like 2.5 hours.
That's true.
If to fuck a car like that up this bad,
The way he was driving it, fuck yeah.
it probably was further. But so he, though, as soon as he found out from the mom, Mrs. Robinson, that he needed to leave, the frat would have also been the frat back at Berkeley.
I didn't think of that, so he had to drive all the fucking way back.
That's what I was trying to make. Again, you were going so fast. I want to make sure you understood that.
For some reason, I felt like the frat was like down the street from
No,
his fucking
because
parents'
think
house.
about it. That's why they went and met at the zoo. They live in the same city.
Makes no. Makes way more sense now.
So again, that's why the car is getting so fucked up. He did this in a day.
He put 3,000 miles on it in 12 hours.
Well, again, he then immediately left wherever they were to Santa Barbara, which again is implied not close.
Nope.
Pulled into Santa Barbara. Car looks jacked when he gets to that gas station. After he does the call, I do appreciate the guy who runs the fucking gas station. The guy was so nice because he definitely knows the dude's bullshit.
Yeah.
He heard the bullshit story, and he was still like, dude, it's 6 blocks, 3 streets over. You'll find it for sure.
Yeah,
Just
it's right over there.
Good luck,
Even
man.
tries to be like, you want gas as he's running out
dude,
the fucking door.
I appreciate the fuck out of that gas station attendant.
He tried.
This is the part of the movie. If you have watched movies, you know everything that's happening.
This is the most parodied shit
well, again,
ever.
We love to talk about Wayne's World.
Yes. This is
Wayne's
shot
World,
for shot.
This is in 2, right? This is
I believe, it's 2.
But yeah, this is shot for shot from basically the gas station, right?
Yeah, from the gas station.
The only difference is that in the gas station in Wayne's World, the guy's like, "Well, it's right next." Or no, that's later when they get to the first. You want the one that's right next door.
Because he goes, it's like some Asian family.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh,
they've got 2 of them, first and second Presbyterian churches."
It's the second one.
Yeah. But so yeah, this is this. He's driving down the road. He's in a hurry. He's anxious to get there, or just broke down.
He
either finally fucked that car up, which I think is what
I think it broke down because it's just it looks trash.
Yeah. But so yeah, he then fucking hoofs it down to the church.
It's a good thing he used to run track.
Yes.
It's not like fucking Wayne running. Having to grab his side and shit. And then keep running.
He gets to this fucking church, dude. He sees it from the outside. He's fucking he's panicked from the outside, rightfully so. He gets up the stairs, fucking sees it. They're kissing.
It's too late.
Fucking basically,
it's too late. They're married.
We know again, like this is one of those insights for people in the
real world
who listen to us who aren't married and don't know. When you see that part of the wedding, I know that the officiator says, "I now pronounce you man and wife." The truth of the legalness of it is you don't sign the papers until after that. So
you still got about 30 minutes.
So only in the eyes of the church.
Yeah,
but
are
not
you married?
Legally.
Until you sign that wedding, that marriage license.
So he had not got there too late. He
just
ceremonially it feels
if you're
that way.
Catholic, he got there too late.
Ceremonially, it definitely feels like he was there too late.
Didn't even get there at like in Shrek with the forever hold your peace bullshit.
Well, or at Wayne's World, like we already said, because in Wayne's World, it's the first time was during the kiss, but when he gets to Tia, he gets there before she's kissing. He's like, no, just like we see here.
Glass break in Wayne's World.
Yeah,
that's what I think happens.
Again, we get the scene. He's banging on the glass.
My favorite one is actually the one from The Simpsons. Fucking Grandpa Simpson, Mrs. Bouvier.
It's a good one. Yeah, so that's what we get. We get Elaine.
Yeah.
Elaine.
And everybody's just looking up, you motherfucker, get the fuck out of here. And then finally, she's just like, Ben!
He
shuts
runs
everybody up.
He runs down, and this is what I think is fucking wild. For so much of this movie to be like parodied, this is not the part.
Yeah.
The fight.
Oh,
the crazy wildness.
Fight everyone.
Normally you don't see this in the parodies. And it's like, this should be parodied.
He fucking gut shots her dad, tackles the groom, knocks him into everybody, knocks him down, picks up the cross and is just waving it and fucking be like, get back, motherfuckers.
I fucking love it.
Elaine's mom gets up to her and just starts smacking the shit out of her.
Mrs. Robinson thought she was about to fucking be the bitch.
Oh, fuck, dude. It was great.
The look on Elaine's face.
It's too late. It's not too late for me. Whap, whap, whap.
The look on Elaine's face as she like triumphantly was like, well, I'm fucking done. And like, she gives the one last look at mom, Mrs. Robinson, that look of like, fuck you. I won't do what you tell me. And runs the fuck out the door with Ben, right?
Fuck slides the cross in, locks the door. And they chase the bus and fucking
dude, it looks like a prison bus.
It does. It's like gray.
They stop the bus. They get on the bus. They walk to the back. Happy ending.
Happy, dude. They're like laughing and giggling. It's like, yeah, we did it.
It's like a 30-second like right, for the first 15
is
smiles,
super happy,
right?
And then
the people on the bus are looking at him, and they're starting to smile with each other.
Yeah, like, hey,
and
cool.
then all of a sudden, it's like it starts to set in, and
oh shit, what do we fucking do now?
well, and like this is the part that so many people, like, what does this ending mean, right? Like, obviously, there's a few ways to interpret but really, it comes down to like, they realize in different levels of like, oh yeah, this was really fun.
Yeah, but now
what does this mean?
Yeah, like
now?
what do we do now?
And also,
fun's kind of over.
Well, and also, like we said, the whole movie's been about rebellion, right? Well, as soon as you officially leave, what are you rebelling now?
Yep.
What's the new thing you're rebelling against?
Yeah, as I say, you got to either find something else to rebel against or settle the fuck down and be normal.
And again, wasn't that almost what Ben was afraid of?
Yeah.
They kept asking him, what are you doing next? And for most people, next is that. And so he didn't want to admit that, which is why an affair with Mrs. Robinson
seems so cool.
It was exciting. It was different. It was crazy. It was insane, right? So again, what's the next step?
I don't know.
That's the eternal debate.
I love the end of it just because like the look.
That's the eternal
The look
debate.
on more her face than his is the whole look of like, oh God, now what?
Yeah, it is definitely that. But yeah, so at this point though, we're done. Movie's over. There's again, it's all kind of existential and
you
weirdness.
Think what you
want
to think at the end of the movie. Do they live happily ever after? Do they immediately murder each other?
Well, and like I said at the beginning, depending on which you want, watch the movie or read the book, right?
Yeah.
The movie says they didn't, and you get this whole story about what might have happened to their lives afterwards.
Afterward, yeah.
The book says they did, and it's all about what their lives were afterwards. You might not like
boring.
either, but I'm just saying.
I like my version where they kill each other, murder, suicide, everything is bad, right? That's my ending.
I mean, it's probably the most believable ending, right?
Yep.
All right, guys. We're done. We had a blast.
End.
It's a good movie.
Classic.
think we both need to say this right now. We both had not seen this movie in a long, long time.
I was like 10.
I was probably 20 or close to. I was close to the age he was supposed to be.
I was a pretentious ass little film kid.
Well, no, I saw it at 10. I'm saying the last time I saw it.
The last time you saw it.
There's a big difference.
I watched it mostly just so like I could tick it off the box of being like, I've seen that movie. I'm so cool.
Yeah, so the last time I saw it, I was definitely his age though. And so like we both were doubly questioning am I going to enjoy it like I did the last time I watched it? But also, what's it going to be like the view different? Because again, at this point, we are closer to the parents' ages.
Yeah.
Than we are Ben, right? And we definitely, no matter what, even with you being 10, like the viewpoints are going to be more like his, right? Like the I don't understand this. What am I doing when I grow up? What am I doing with the rest of my life? What does that even mean? How do you answer that? We also understand that when we're young. The older you get, for most people, is probably not that way. I still feel that way.
I have no idea.
You just the older you get, the less you start to care. I think.
Yeah, it's just like as long as I have food.
Or a fun podcast.
Or a fun podcast. As long as there's beer, bud, and bitches, I'm okay. Damn it. I'm single. You leave me alone.
But yeah, so again, guys, you interpret this all however you want to. We had fun though. That's the main thing. I want to tell people that if you've not watched it in a long time, you're hearing us talk about it. It
deserves every fucking accolade it has. It is a classic. Nothing problematic either, really.
The Oedipal stuff almost gets there.
The stalking shit's a little
sleeping. Again,
you shouldn't sleep with the mom of the girl you want to date.
Well, and if as me and Bo already said,
unless they're into that.
Well, and we already said we would never. It's awkward anyway. But I'm not here to judge you.
If that's what you want to do. I mean, I ain't your daddy.
But that is probably the most close to a problematic thing the movie has,
Yeah.
right? It's just that is kind of weird.
It's not Soul Man. We ain't got
yeah.
a guy in blackface. So just go watch it. It's fun.
So again, guys, next, well, before we even talk about next week, I almost skipped over.
Oh, yeah, we got to tell them how the beer was.
Good, guys.
It's great.
I love this.
Country Boy Brewing for the patrons. I'll show you all my empty cans.
You'll show them nothing.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We just talked about that.
As you
This
can
is all
tell,
just us,
I'm
yeah.
having a good time, and I can't remember things.
But yeah, this was a fun time. It was a good time. I like their beer. Blonde Ale, go for it. Cougar Bait. Next time we try theirs, we might be looking at their Nacho Bait, which is the same beer.
Yeah, but spicy.
With a
jalapeno kick.
So yeah, next time, guys, I'll hit you with the drink. Bo can tell you the movie. No, normally we do it the other way around. This is, again, I like to do it on the ones where I feel like no matter what, you're going to nail the movie.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's almost like telling you the movie, right?
Yeah, immediately.
So we're going to do White Russians.
Because we're going to do the Big Lebowski, baby.
We're going to be the dude.
The dude abides.
We're going to be the guy for our particular place and time.
Exactly. Where's my fucking rug, man? I just want my rug.
All right, guys. Again, I don't think we need to say any more about that. You'll hear us say
Yep.
all the fun things.
All
but
the
again,
fun.
We all know that movie is insanely quotable. Unfortunately, for a lot of you, you may really hate next episode because me and Bo are really bad about that. The more quotable it is, the more we're going to drop
It's just
all
going to
of the
be quotes. The whole next episode's just us quoting the movie.
Now, that being said, we will have a lot of fun.
Yes.
We will have a blast. I hope you guys will, too.
We're going to watch it 10 times before next week.
All right, guys. On that note, we are done. Do you have anything special you want to hit him with, Bo?
Actually, you know what? I would like to leave our friends with a quote from another great Benjamin through history, Benjamin Franklin, who once said, "In all your amours, you should prefer the old women to the young, for they have much smarter, they've already had their children, and they will be most grateful. Unless they're in fucking leopard print." Cheers. Here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. Play the music. I love that movie.
That's why I asked if you. Yes.